What's up, weebs? Welcome back. This is the Uncensored Anime Podcast. We are your hosts. I am David. We got Kenny on the bottom. We got Jerry to my left. We're happy to see you all again. It's been a little bit, but today we're just excited to get right back into it. Talk a little bit about, what we've all been seeing, kind of do a little recap with each of us. I know Jerry's got some topics that he wants to talk about. So why don't we just get the show underway, Jerry? So why don't you take the reins, big boy?
You know it. That's what we do every week here on the Uncensored Anime Podcast. And by every week, I mean every 3 weeks. No, I'm joking. But for real, legitimately, it's been a little bit of a break again. We've been pretty choppy this semester. And it's just things come up. Life comes up. We got hit with a big ice storm here in our area for a week that definitely put some of us out of power, out of water. And then our good man here, David, has recently moved. Definitely kind of set us back a little bit as well. So we are in a situation now where we can get back to filming, getting more episodes out to you guys, talking about this anime stuff. We've already almost, what's crazy to say is I feel like we literally just posted our preparation for winter anime, and the winter season is now almost over. We've got maybe 3 or 4 weeks left. So maybe we'll pump out a couple more episodes before we do our spring anime review, which is going to be coming up very soon. Probably in the next month or two. You will see our spring anime 13 opinions on that. That's our favorite thing to do, is watch 13 brand new shows and give you guys our perspectives on that. But hopefully you guys have been keeping up with some winter shows. We've got a couple things we're going to chat about tonight. We're going to start by talking a little bit about anime news, stuff going on in the anime media. I feel like there's a couple things that we need to touch on here on the podcast. Now that it's been a couple weeks, a couple different things have happened that I think need our attention. Or if you're a weeb and you want to hear, this is time to listen in. But then we'll also chat about some of the animes that us boys have actually kept up with. A few of us have kept up with the different shows that we talked about in our installment about winter anime. And honestly, we just got to do a little catch-up talk because the shows, winter was stacked. Is that the way to put it? No, I don't know.
A lot of great shows.
Winter. I feel like if you go to any anime weeb channel right now, they all are just like, so winter 2021 was fucking jacked. Except then they realize X-Arm exists and they're like, wow, that
fuck, bro. X-Arm brings everything down.
X-Arm brings the whole caliber of the season.
I wanted so hard to watch Back Arrow, but I just can't. I just haven't got myself to watch it.
I knew that was a drop, David. I knew the moment I saw it, that was a drop.
Other Side Picnic or hard.
Jesus Christ.
It's hard.
And I thought Other Side maybe had some promise, but I dropped it still too. I dropped it after episode 1 also because I just felt like it was probably going to obscurate, but we'll get more into that as we get into this episode. As always, you can skip ahead on the tabs on the YouTube channel. So if you need to skip ahead for any part, want to check out different stuff that we're talking about, please feel free to skip ahead, listen to the parts that interest you. We always try to make sure we list the chapters and the time stamps in our description so that you guys can do that here on YouTube if that's where you're listening, or if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, that's great. And we're really grateful that you're tuning in there. Additionally, if you haven't already, go give us a follow on Spotify. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Do whatever you want to be able to just support us, right? The more you guys like, share, comment, do all that stuff on this podcast, if you're listening, we have a pretty good... Our YouTube videos have accumulated over 2,000 plays in the last 3 or 4 months since we started this podcast. That's not it is a small number. That's marginally a pretty nice number. We've also accumulated almost 500 plays on audio platforms. We could not have done that without the support of those of you listening. So if you're listening now, thank you so much. Me, David, and Kenny are so grateful. We're on episode 20, guys. We've done this is our 20th episode. We have really kept this consistent as possible. So we're really grateful to keep coming back and chatting about anime and getting in your guys' ears that are listening at home. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, and continue to support us. Share this with your friends. Like, comment. Join us on Instagram at the Uncensored Anime Podcast. Join us on Twitter at the Uncensored Anime Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. All of that helps to just help us bring you more content. We know that people are out there listening and giving us a little bit of support. And honestly, seeing the view numbers and some of the support we have gotten, we're very, very grateful. So thank you guys so much. And hopefully you guys are able to enjoy and chat with us. Honestly, me, David, and Kenny, we all monitor all of our media. So you'll hear from one of us if you comment anywhere, pretty much. One of us will probably respond.
We usually respond. Yeah.
That makes me excited. I pretty much respond to every YouTube comment that we get. So for sure. Thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts. So let's do it, boys. Let's start off with some anime news. Some some stuff on the top of your minds. David, do you have any specific stories that have come out over the last month or so that you think we need to cover or we need to have some opinions on? Let's hear it.
So I think I'll let Kenny had one earlier, but I'll let him have that one. But something I just found out was that the World Ends With You is getting an anime. Is that brand new, or am I
It's fairly new. Whenever they announced the sequel game, Neo, they announced the animation with it. I think it was a couple weeks ago. It may have been.
And I think there's a trailer already, right, Kenny? I feel like I watched the trailer.
They dropped a trailer today.
Oh, there's a new trailer today. No, I feel like there's a teaser that came out a couple weeks ago that I had seen, but there's like a full blown trailer now.
Yep. At least
that's cool.
What Google's telling me right now.
I did notice from the teaser, I wasn't super excited about the quality of the animation is the word I'm going to use. Like, it looked a little static, but I think it'll maybe improve by the time the actual show airs. But the story is one of those ones that is, I hope that they stick to the Game Boy game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually never played the game. I wanted to get it on the Switch because they remastered it. And the animation looks pretty dope. It looks just like how the game looks, like from game trailers that I've seen. So I know nothing of the story, but it looks pretty cool.
Right.
So I'm excited.
Well, I'm excited. I think the story will be fun. I just hope that it's not. Did you guys watch the Phoenix Wright anime that they made?
Yeah.
No, I have. Was it bad?
Look, I like Phoenix Wright. Okay.
I love
just play the games.
Yeah. The reality of it is that the anime just didn't animate anything. It's like a clip show almost. Like it feels like you're playing the game without playing the game, if that makes any sense.
Oh, that doesn't sound fun at all.
No, yeah, listen, I got super bored after about halfway through and we gave up. Because it was just, we'd rather just go play it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, why not just go play? So, A for effort, but I hope The World Ends With You doesn't end up like that. I hope it ends up more like the Danganronpa first season, because that was like a really cool anime or game adaptation to an anime, in my opinion. Because I also didn't like the Blaze Blue anime. They did a Blaze Blue anime a couple years back that adapted the first game. It also kind of ended up being just like a clip show. Like the animation just didn't. The budget just seemed really low, if that makes any sense. For both Phoenix Wright, Blaze Blue, they just didn't come across budgetarily, I think. So they ended up both being kind of just clip shows that were just like direct adaptations of the games. Hopefully with World Ends With You, they have some more money. Money.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. I think when because we had a whole episode talking about video game, like anime adaptations, and generally there are more bad than good adaptations.
Yeah. Right.
So hopefully this doesn't fall under that trope of like just shitty anime adaptation of a good game. So yeah,
right.
I guess we'll see.
Hey, Kenny, is David cutting out for you too?
Bro,
am I cutting out?
Yeah.
I assume that it's getting recorded though, so it's like, because he's recording. So.
You're a recorder, so I assume the recording is hearing you, but Kenny and I sure as hell aren't.
But if his mic isn't picking it up, then obviously
I unplugged my mic. I plugged it back in. Is it better now? Or am I still cutting out?
I heard those last two sentences, so I hope so. Yeah. Sounds great, David.
I like video games. I'm excited, actually. Total tangent, but if you've ever played this game called Dungeon Fighter Online, it's like a old style beat 'em up where you run around, and honestly, any sort of game like that, you cover the screen in animations and shit like that, and it's ridiculous. Like you just are like pressing all your buttons and the screen's exploding, and you're like, this is awesome. And Arc System Works is now developing a real fighting game.
Yep.
A la Blaze Blue or Guilty Gear or even Dragon Ball Fighter style Dungeon Fighter Online crossover game. So it looks only the teaser's out, but it looks super fun. I'm excited about playing the game.
I'll play that with you, Kenny, for sure.
Yeah,
that looks
looks like a good time.
Have y'all seen the Demon Slayer video game?
Yeah, CyberConnect.
Isn't it? Like
it looks so good. It's basically just like Storm. Am I cutting out still?
You're really loud now.
Now you're loud, yeah.
Absurdly loud.
Okay, how about now?
You're even louder, it feels
You're like screaming into the microphone.
Okay. Is this okay?
Oh, that was now you no.
Oh, that's fine.
Wait, you were way better. Yeah, that was almost perfect.
C D EFG. We're good now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't mess with my
listen,
settings. Be good.
Okay, we
love-
good.
I love video games that are dating simulators and farming games and RPGs. So let me talk about Room Factory 5.
I was about to say, let
Oh.
Kenny talk about what's that? Harlem? No,
Harvest
Harvest Moon. Kenny's going to talk
Stardew
about
Valley?
Harvest Moon for a whole
Well,
point.
Harvest Moon on the GameCube is one of the best games I've ever played.
Harvest
in my
Moon,
entire
Room
life,
Factory,
okay?
and Stardew Valley, hosted by Kenny. No, Kenny. But on the note of, I want to play Dungeon Fighter.
Yep, Dungeon Fighter.
Obviously, if you guys haven't seen the trailer, the new Guilty Gear game looks incredible.
Soon to come out, right?
So that's actually coming out very soon.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, Arc System Works is just a legend. So that's
They're
gonna be
so
really
good.
Yeah, that's
okay.
gonna-
This is my dream. Okay, Dragon Ball Fighters came out. It's amazing. I love Dragon Ball Fighters. Shonen Jump needs to partner fully with Arc System Works and make a Shonen Jump crossover game in the style of Dragon Ball Fighters.
Right.
Make it Marvel vs. Capcom style where it's 3 guys.
That'd be so cool.
Oh my god.
There's something that people don't know about that I don't know if you guys even know about, but there are 2 games on the DS, right? There's a Dragon Ball Z game and a One Piece fighting game that are both 2D fighters. And they were both developed by Arc Systems on the DS, like right near the end of the DS's life. So right before the Switch came out. They were only released, I want to say the Dragon Ball one came out in America, but the One Piece one did not. So I think only the Dragon Ball one is here, but the One Piece one was Japan exclusive. You could do cross play between the 2 games. So if one person had the One Piece game, one person had the Dragon Ball game, you could do One Piece characters versus Dragon Ball characters. And it is insane to me that it just has always made me think that Arc System is like right on the cusp. You know, that since they've already worked on the DS one, the system One Piece Fighter's got to be coming, right? Like someone in the development team has got to be sitting there thinking, you look at all this money we made off Fighters, we need to do a One Piece one. Like, you know what I mean? Someone somewhere has to have said this.
Nah, Burning Blood was good enough.
No,
I enjoyed Burning Blood for what it was. It's not
was it not bad?
perfect.
It
It's
would
not
be
perfect,
insane if they released the One Piece Fighter and they made it. You could play cross.
With that, yes, that would be
That'd be
the
amazing.
dream.
You
Release
my head would
One Piece
explode.
Fighters. Release One Piece Fighters on PlayStation and let me fight against
It would
Goku
sell
on
like
on
hotcakes.
console. Yeah,
Easy
we would.
sell.
It would be blown. But Kenny's right. The reality of it is that if Arc got their hands on a essentially Jump Ultimate Stars, but for the consoles,
Yeah.
anime fighter, the world would implode. I mean, to be honest, if I could play as Ichigo versus Gon in a 2D anime fighter on the consoles that looked as good as and as clean as Dragon Ball Fighters and such well-developed movesets for every character, that'd be crazy.
Can you imagine the supers, the animations? Oh my god!
Right, because where Jump Force fails and where those games have failed is that the characters are just copy paste. Like there's no. It's a formulaic battle system with a really like kind of glitchy battle arena style. So
Yeah.
it's unfortunate, but yeah, Demon Slayer game coming out. That is a piece of news that David mentioned. I don't know. Are you guys excited at all? Like, it just looks like
I'm buying it the day it drops. Like,
It looks like
it
looks like a
the Storm
photocopy
series is
of-
probably like my favorite anime fighting game ever. Well,
Yeah.
I take it back. The Jump Ultimate Stars game from the DS is probably my favorite. But the Storm series,
DS Jump Ultimate Stars is unbeatable. In my mind. I love that game.
It's so good. But the Storm series is I love the Storm series, and to see the Demon Slayer characters it's basically Storm reskinned to be Demon Slayer, but it looks really good. The trailers that have come out, I think they've only showed like four or five characters, but it just looks so clean, and like the animations themselves of the supers, of like the combat is just so crisp, so clean. So I'm excited to play it. I don't know. I don't think they've released a shared like a release date.
I don't know if there's a date, but there's for sure. I'm yawning, and it's like 5 p.m.
Well,
No, it's I don't know if it has a date yet, but
It's sometime
for sure
this
it's, like,
year.
a teaser. At least a teaser trailer is coming.
Yeah.
out. I know I saw something.
Yeah, news says they'll drop sometime this year.
all right. In other news, a classic reverse isekai, The Devil is a Part-Timer, is getting season 2 finally. There's so much story left in that. I think it was a light novel to begin with. It's a reverse isekai, obviously. Most people have seen it. It's really funny. I think it's funny. They
Did it come out like 10 years ago or something like that?
Yeah, it's old now.
It's weird. I swear it came out like last year. I keep thinking, like, when I saw that announcement and it was like 7 years old, I was like,
wow.
I was like, shit. I thought that came out like last year.
Especially to leave on like it was like obviously a cliffhanger too. Like there was like so much left, and they're like, well, so many animes, old animes. Like whenever we first transitioned into seasonal style, so many shows just didn't get seasons 2, and people were like, what? Like we love this, and so Devil is a Part-Timer is getting a season 2, which is going to give people a lot of hope for a lot of different shows. You know, like, well, if Devil is a Part-Timer came back.
Everyone's favorite Log Horizon came back this season, you know.
Oh my god, no.
Dookie Sandwich itself got a 3rd season after 6 years or something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at this point, you're right. I think a lot of anime studios are revisiting some of those properties that got dropped back when seasonal anime just wasn't a thing. And they're trying to revive them and give them that seasonal treatment, which is really cool because who knows what's going to be next, you know? And I mean, we've talked about here on the show about revivals and how we're kind of in the era of redoing shows to make them right, you know, make them good again or whatever. You know, we've all lived through Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Hunter x Hunter, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and now Shaman King this year, and Bleach is getting its finale treatment finally. There's so many shows that are getting their revival or continuation or redo.
Right.
Sailor Moon Crystal just happened a couple years back.
Yep.
Even Dragon Ball Kai.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Kai to make it more accurate to the manga, even though, you know, they covered the whole manga in Dragon Ball Z.
Right.
It's just that, you know, they were able to cut it down and create that version of it. I mean, that's been in the last 10 years for like all of those shows. And so we're kind of living in this golden age, and we have hope that like lots of other shows that have kind of been lost to time can get their faithful adaptation. I mean, you know, I feel like there are people sitting by waiting for like Hokuto no Ken to get a revival, or Berserk to finally get a legitimate revival that doesn't look like X-Arm. It looks like X-Arm animated it. Yeah.
It's never.
You know what I mean?
That's just it. I feel like because of that Berserk anime, we're never gonna get. It's gonna be another 10 years now.
Could you guys imagine a faithful readaptation of Gantz? I was just thinking about that the other day. A beginning to end.
No,
the Gantz,
I would love it. I would love it so much.
The Gantz anime got left on a cliffhanger. You know, they only adapted the first chunk and then kind of just made up an ending. And the original anime is not bad, but it kind of has that kind of like grimy early 2000s look where like the animators didn't really know if they wanted to be like a 2D animation or like a modern animation. You know what I mean? There was like that ugly look that kind of happened for a couple years in the early 2000s.
Jerry, you know what would make me the happiest person alive? If they animated the rest of Claymore.
I knew you were gonna say that.
The rest of Claymore, buddy.
And now we're in that zone now where this sort of stuff is so people are asking. World Trigger just got a new season after 3-4 years or whatever. We're in that zone where this is what people want. We don't want anything, you know. Mushoku Tensei is this one of the best isekai of all time. Came out almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Finally has an anime adaptation. Why did it take 10 years for one of the most popular isekais to get an anime adaptation?
I caught up on that last night. Holy shit, that show is so good.
We're living in a time where this is the time of revivals, reboots, continuations. And I wish I could tell you that brand new anime was failing. But new shit is good too. What the fuck? Jujutsu Kaisen is fucking hot. Like new anime is also hot, guys.
Wonder Egg Priority.
We're living in a.
Bro, I'm not watching that yet. I'm trying.
There's almost too much. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing, Kenny. I want to watch the whole show in one sitting. After the first episode, I said I'm saving Wonder Egg for the end of the season. That's a
no spoilers. No spoilers.
No spoilers. Right, yeah. So great anime news there. There's a couple. Oh, shoot, what even started that? Kenny, what did you tell us just now?
Devil's Part-Timer.
Oh, duh, right. I feel like there's some. Did any other shows get continuation announcements that I'm missing? I feel like we've talked about most.
My Hero.
Yeah, My Hero season comes back in less a month. We're now a month out, so we're about to get season 5
very soon.
And I feel like there's other. I feel like there was another show, and I'm just totally forgetting. It's flexing. If I think of it, I'll bring it up later. Other anime news. So I'll bring up a little something. If you guys haven't seen, those listening, and obviously I know David and Kenny have seen because I sent it to them. But Shaman King, I was really hoping was going to go to a weekly service like Funimation or Crunchyroll. And I'm a little surprised that Netflix actually has acquired the international distribution rights. Really surprised me because as of right now, we still don't know how long Shaman King is going to run for. Is it going to be one continuous run, or are they going to break it up into seasons like Fruits Basket's Revival was broken up into 3 seasons. Fruits Basket's Revival was broken up into 3 seasons that they aired with breaks in between. So I don't know if Shaman King is going to air 26 episodes and then come back for more later, or if it's just going to be one continual run. And if it's one continual run, then I'm a little hesitant to see it go to Netflix, because Netflix just doesn't publish the shows on a weekly basis. They wait till it's over. So I'm not sure when they're going to publish this show for me, which I'm like, God damn it. Like, this was my top one of the season.
Yeah.
Whenever Fate Apocrypha went, they published the first 12 episodes and then the second 12 episodes, even though it all ran in one season. So halfway through the season, they published 12.
So they did
maybe it was 6 and 6. I don't remember.
Maybe Shaman King will do the same thing. I just know that, like with High Rise Invasion and Beastars, High Rise just got posted.
Yeah.
Beastars is about to come out as well once that season ends. They usually wait until the last season of Seven Deadly Sins. The last season of Seven Deadly Sins will come out when that season's over.
Why don't they just air it weekly? Like literally every other streaming platform does it.
But
they have shows that come out weekly.
They've just run a lot of analytics where I'm sure that their whole thing is that they get more view time if people binge. I bet that's part of it, and I'm sure that. I mean, think about it. Netflix survives on the binge. Like, that's sort of their thing. They keep people on the platform, so I'm sure that's part of it. But I do think with anime they need to reconsider. In my opinion, but
I open Crunchy every Sunday at 3 p.m. Every Sunday,
sure as hell do. Sure as hell do.
Titan. So I mean,
and you watch Crunchyroll fucking crashes every week because so many people do it. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, Netflix should consider doing that for something like Shaman King if it ends up being long running. If it is seasonal though, if they're just doing like 26 at a time, then I won't be bothered if they wait until the season's over and post it. That won't bother me that much. But Shaman King's my most anticipated spring anime. Like, of everything coming, it is certainly the show I'm most looking forward to because I've been reading the manga. And really just sort of reliving the old show. I mean, such a great show from when I was a kid, and I'm just really, really excited for this reboot. But I will say, the animation in the trailer gets me worried.
What's the animation studio, Jerry? Do you remember?
They're a newer studio. I can't think of their name off the top of my head. They're a newer studio. They don't have a lot of work under their belt. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting a little antsy looking at the trailer. I'm not gonna lie. So for those of you at home, go watch the trailer. Come back here. Here's the thing. There's a couple cuts of animation in the trailer that look a little choppy. They're looking a little low production. But then also the colors of the show and the style, they kind of went for more of a looser feel. Everything kind of looks a little like fluid is the word I would use. While the original Shaman King manga is a very it's almost got an American aesthetic to it, if that makes any sense. Like, if you go read the manga, Takei's style is a little bit more cartoony, to be honest. And so to see it kind of turned a little bit more like sleek is a little tough to look at for me, just because it doesn't mesh with what the manga looks like. And I do know the manga gets sleeker as the story goes on, and I've already kind of see that where I've read up to, because I'm a little over chapter 160 or something like that. So I'm a little over halfway. And the manga his designs get a little bit closer to maybe what they're doing with the style, but I would have rather the anime kind of followed the stylization. Like, you know how JoJo's, the parts kind of work to match Araki's style at the time?
Yeah.
I think that's what this show should have done. Like, match his style, and then as the show progresses, change the style a little bit, because that's what he did in the manga. I don't see any reason to not make it look more cartoony. So, I don't know, but then there's one specific shot in the trailer where Ren is using Basan, and he is doing one of those sort of like Luffy's Gomu Gomu no Gatling, and the animation just looks terrible. I mean, it's just like a still image with like this one staff thing plocked all over, and I was like, that's a shitty cut.
No. But
the colors also just look a little off. Everything looks a little dark, and Shaman King is not supposed to be dark. It's a very light and colorful show, but they kind of have the color palette seems super dark. And so I'm really concerned that they're just going to lose the whole tone. The show to the manga's tone does have deeper themes, but they're supposed to be covered in this sort of this light, right? That's sort of the whole thing. There's this very light and playful cartoony vibe. That's what makes it so. It's like One Piece. Like, could you imagine One Piece if it was all like dark and gloomy? Like, the fuck would that be? No. That wouldn't be good. You know, like it's got to be playful and colorful. And yeah, One Piece also can be playful and colorful and talk about slavery at the same time, and it still works. Like that's what Takei and Oda, they work together. They're like good friends, old friends that have been in manga forever. Yeah. They have very similar styles. It seems odd to go full dark, but I'm not going to judge it before the show airs. Sometimes trailers can be really unpolished, to be honest, and sometimes animation from trailers don't end up in the show. So I don't know.
Do we know if Hiroyuki had any input in this adaptation?
A lot of input. Of input.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
He was actually, and this is going to blow your guys' mind. I don't know if y'all, yeah, okay, so a couple years ago, guys, the head creator at Mappa Studios approached Takai and said, listen, Takai, I want to redo Shaman King and be faithful to the manga. And Takai said, I have a lot of demands. And Mappa was not willing to meet his demands. So he told them no.
Yeah, he wanted all the original voice actors.
He wanted all the voice actors, the music, he had all these demands, and Mappa was just like, no, we're not, like, we wanted to kind of go our way with it, like our direction with it. So they passed, and no one was willing to meet his demands except for this new like budding studio, and they've met his demands now. But I'm like, oh shit, like it's like X-Arm, you know what I mean? Like X-Arm is an absolute failure because the people that are working on it are just such amateurs to the industry. And I'm worried. I'm not saying the Shaman King team has done some other shows. You'll have to look it up, David, but they've done some other work. They're definitely not completely amateurs to the industry, but it is worrisome to see sort of a new company that's kind of like meeting all of Takei's demands, trying to adjust and readapt the show. I'm still excited. I won't judge it till it comes out, but I just really hope it is the Full Metal Brotherhood of Shaman King, that it is really what it'll make me very happy if it is. So we'll see.
There was one young animation studio, and they were remaking an old anime, and it became one of the best anime of all time. If you know about David Production, they made JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
You're not wrong, Kenny. You're not wrong.
They came in and were like, "Hey."
David Production was a brand new studio on the block. People were worried going into JoJo's as well, and they blew everyone's fucking mind.
Everyone was like,
they blew everyone. They absolutely took absolute caution, and they took time with every single frame of that show, and they've taken so much care of JoJo's, and it has reignited an audience for that show that didn't exist. David Production is directly responsible for that. What's up,
Let
Kenny?
me go ahead. It has Stone Ocean.
Yeah, has Stone Ocean.
Let me see.
Stop, bro.
Is Stone Ocean confirmed? Tumblr.com.
Wait, so isn't there's still a JoJo's event happening in April, right? That's still slated? Okay. So, Stone Ocean, April 2021.
Oh, is it confirmed, Kenny? Let's see here.
587.
Day 587.
Stone Ocean is not confirmed.
Still not confirmed. Still no anime confirmed, guys.
Jolene!
You heard it here on the Uncensored Anime Podcast. Stone Ocean is still not confirmed.
Although they're doing that thing next month. Like I have zero doubt that next month, whenever they're
going to be like,
announce it.
It's coming.
They're going to roll out the voice actors like they did last year. Whenever they did it for Vento Ario. Or
I'm stoked. I'm stoked for that. So stoked. But I don't know, guys. So any other news? The only thing I can think of is, did you guys hear about the Eren's cape fiasco?
No.
Oh my god,
Jerry, tell us the story, Jerry.
This already sounds dumb, but
tell us the story. So if you guys didn't know, let's just back it up a little bit. If you didn't know, Mappa is the studio animating the final season of Attack on Titan. This is for the viewers. I know you guys know this.
Yep.
Okay.
Mappa. The previous 3 seasons were animated by a company named Wit Studio. Wit Studio is arguably one of the best companies doing anime right now. They adapted Vinland Saga as well as Titan. They're an incredibly competent animation studio. They passed on doing the final season. Mappa decided to pick it up. Also a very competent animation studio. Mappa's done a lot of really, really great work, right? Ever since the newest season has started, Mappa has gotten a lot of pushback about the way that they animate Attack on Titan. So if you go on Twitter, so on and so forth, some very, very heavy-handed fans have had a lot of issues with Attack on Titan's new animation style. It's really at the end of the day, I think the animation is not lowered in quality, just stylistically it's changed. And that's something people have had a tough time adapting to, okay?
Well, people know there's a reason why that's so, right?
Yeah, I mean, clearly they know that it's a studio change, I assume. I assume everybody knows that.
Well, isn't it because of, like, there's so much pressure on having, like, the animation on Mappa to have it animated so it'll end the exact same time as the manga? So they're, like, relying heavily on, like, more on CGI and, you know, more skills, things like that.
I don't know if that's for sure why they're doing it. I think Mappa, it has a style. I mean, at the end of the day, remember some of their first anime were all 3D animated. They rotoscoped most of Yuri on Ice. This is a style thing that Mappa's been doing for years. And I think that the 3D animation is part of their style. It's part of what they do in their company. And if you really think that the battle that happened between all the Titans didn't look good, when that battle happened where Eren's got the freaking God, I can't think of her name. The
Warhammer Titan, yeah.
In her mouth, and the cart Titan's there.
Attack on Titan spoilers, by the way.
Reiner raises out of the ground as the armor. All that. It might have been 3D, but it looked
good. Yeah. I was so hyped for that part. That looked so good.
If there's any studio that does 3D anime well, fucking Mappa. I mean, Beastars might be one of the Beastars and Dorohedoro, two of the best 3D animated animes I've ever seen, honestly. I don't know if there's... Can you guys name a better one? I don't know.
X-Arm.
I'm done. Actually, we're done.
You forgot about the best one of them all.
The intro to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Yeah.
Also very good. Not gonna lie.
Those are...
David Production did kick that shit into gear. But
yeah.
I mean, Mappa they do 3D well. I don't think they've ruined it. Okay, here's the Eren conspiracy. There was a clip in the very first trailer for the final season. It's the shot where Eren is standing on the cliffside and he pulls his jacket onto him, right?
Oh, he looks hot as fuck, right?
They were super hyped when the trailer landed, you know, like, oh my God, the Yeagerists are coming. It's happening, the final season. Great. The actual scene happened in the anime. It was a completely different animation clip. They completely used a different animator.
Really?
So it's just it doesn't look the same at all. And the anime one, he looks so much like chubbier. The shot looks much choppier. Clearly less frames. And no one knows why. So Twitter exploded and they were just like, Eren's cape. They've ruined it. They've ruined this moment.
Oh my God.
And, for me, it's
this
like
is the worst fandom.
I was like, of all the things to be upset about, that's the clip that you're mad about? Like, what? But, you know, it's all these people saying, like, you already made it. Why didn't you just use that one? You know, I don't know.
That's fair, I guess. But what if that trailer had nothing to do with, like what else was happening, like stylistically?
That's what it was, yeah.
Yeah.
The trailer was certainly early animation that they produced just for the trailer. And then once they started to get the style and, you know, the look of the showdown, it needed to be consistent with the show. I mean, at the end of the day, and if you look at the new clip as a standalone clip of animation, it's a well-done clip of animation. It's just because the old one exists that people are frustrated at all. You know, they want the show to have looked like that and not like this, whatever it might be. I think people are batshit crazy because I think the show looks gorgeous. I mean, I think that I'll probably get some shit for it, but I think the final season looks great.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, nothing about it has made me go like, nah, you know, like, nah. When I'm watching it, I'm like, this is dope. I'm like, this is very well done. It's very well directed. It's been very well. All of the pieces of the show have been put together well. The music, the voice acting, the animation, it all looks like a complete package, and I've really enjoyed that about it. But yeah, so there's the Eren conspiracy news.
That's so dumb. That's so dumb.
Yeah, just everybody go watch the Berserk anime, okay? If
Kenny's
you
gonna
add 3D animation, go watch the goddamn Berserk anime. Go watch X-Arm.
Know how well you have it.
Glasses up. Kenny's gonna push his glasses up and be like, "You snooty tweeds! Why don't you just go read the goddamn manga?"
I mean, that's what I've been doing.
Let me be.
Oh wait, go ahead, Kenny.
Let me be upfront with you. The manga is not good. And I want to be very clear.
Yeah, why do people read the manga?
The manga is not well drawn.
Hajime Isayama is not a good artist.
I was going to say the same
thing. There wasn't any connective tissue to the story. It shonen very much. equal as any sort of unraveled spiral
Titan
there is. It definitely did that.
Wit
Okay.
Studio
It's
did
Demon
to Attack on
Slayer. It's
Titan.
Demon Slayer
Yeah.
before Demon Slayer.
Before Demon Slayer. Yeah, Wit Studio did to Attack on Titan exactly what UFO Table did to Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
The anime turned this series into a smash international hit when it was not bound. It was a title, and I've talked about this on the podcast before. Titan was rejected from Shonen Jump. It got rejected from Shonen Jump. Shonen Jump said, "We don't want this," when he presented it to them. And it's because he was a shitty artist and the story was messy. And Weekly Shonen Sunday, or I think it's Shonen Sunday. Do you know where it runs, Kenny? I think it's Shonen Sunday. They picked it up. They said, "We'll give you a shot." And the story ended up kind of coming together, and Wit transformed that manga into a gorgeous anime. And
I think only 40 chapters were out whenever the anime came out.
Yeah, dude. Because they're monthly, so the chapters are much longer. So, Wit was able to adapt a lot. It's almost same. I think by the end of the anime, there'll only be a pretty small marginal chapter to episode number difference. But yes, Titan was saved by its anime, and you should watch the anime instead of reading the manga, in my opinion. But whatever. Did you catch
reading
up,
just
David, on
because
the
I
manga?
want. I'm like 10 chapters behind, but I saw there was like some big shit happened in the manga this week, and I was like, okay, I'm too addicted to the story. I have to read the manga, and that's why I discovered that the art looks like a 10-year-old drew it.
There's only one chapter left, David. The last chapter comes out next week or next month.
Oh, that's the final chapter?
The final chapter of Attack on Titan comes out in April. Yeah. 139.
So are we expected to finish the anime in this time? Like in the next 4 weeks?
Kinda. We'll get into that. Here, or let's talk about it now before we get into
Okay.
I kinda want to talk about doing stuff, but let's talk about it real quick.
Okay.
So as of right now, as of this recording.
Because there's a lot that hasn't happened yet.
Oh, I know. So as of this recording, MAPPA announced the final season of Attack on Titan is going to be 16 episodes long. Okay? That means that the last episode of the season will air the same week that the last chapter comes out. Okay? And as of right now, they have not confirmed that there's going to be anything else. But the issue is that the pacing of the anime has stayed consistent. They haven't sped it up. So we're still missing 30 plus chapters, 40 plus chapters of content.
Like monthly
in the anime.
chapters.
That's what I'm saying. So there's a lot of content that still needs to get covered. I think, and this is just my theory, nothing has been confirmed yet. I think that the episode 16 is a mid-season break. I think that in April, the final season is going to take a break. It's going to take a break, and a couple months later, it'll come back and do the last 8 episodes. That's what I think is going to happen. Because 24 episodes is a standard season of a show, generally, if you're doing a 2-core show. 16 episodes gets them pretty close, but I think that they're going to come back with 8 more episodes to finish the show. 8 to 10. I think it's either going to be a 24 or 26 episode, but I think that they're going to take a hiatus after the last chapter airs, and then they'll come back and do the rest of it. Because as of right now, they have not ventured away. They've maintained a pure faithfulness to the manga and a good pacing. They're not pacing up. So there's still quite a bit of content that needs to be covered. Yeah. That's my guess. So
I feel like that'd be the better option to go with instead of like rushing like 40 monthly chapters into 4 episodes.
Right. And there's a lot of theories there's some theories that they're going to come back with a movie as the finale. It'll be like a, 2-hour movie to do, pull that for the end of the, so they can get a bigger budget. There's some theories like that. Some people think they're just going to chop a bunch of the final chapters out and just end it. Which I feel would the fan base would riot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they chunked 20 chapters out of the final arc and just showed the ending, I think people would be very upset. So I don't see that happening. But that's the current status of Attack on Titan. So if you're watching along this season, that means that we only have 4 episodes left before some sort of break or the official ending. And if you're watching right now and you watch the episode that just came out on Sunday, then spoilers, because I'm going to talk about it briefly because I know David's already watched it. Kenny doesn't care. He's not into Titan. Gabby got her shit wrecked in, boys.
Are you a Gabby hater? Do you hate Gabby?
Oh, fuck Gabby, bro. Fuck Gabby,
she
bro.
killed my favorite character. Oh,
there's a whole song.
Fucking God.
There's a whole song on TikTok going around that's like, it just says, fuck Gabby.
Fuck Gabby.
Fuck Gabby. Fuck Falco. And it's like, Eren ain't did nothing wrong. Eren ain't did nothing wrong. But yeah, for real, fuck Gabby. She's a little
so good.
And I get it's just it's so heartbreaking to watch the like devolvement of war and the impact of war on children, and it's like it's devastating that she is so like the state of the Marleyan troops that are just so deeply brainwashed, and especially those that are Eldian by birth. It's troubling. There's so much like thematic presence that other anime just have not achieved. There are just other anime that can't get there. And when I watched, I mean, the full circle moment that happened in this latest episode where we have Niccolo, who is a born Marleyan, he's a Marleyan by birth, currently captive on Paradise Island. But for real, he's more of like a, when Yelena and Zeke made the decision to come over, they're kind of there by choice.
Yeah.
Niccolo is there. He falls in love with an Eldian, Sasha. Sasha is then murdered by accident on the airship. And then by chance, her murderer arrives at his kitchen. And the full circle moment is just, getting us there, watching Gabby escape from jail, murder another guy, get out, end up on Sasha's farm, not know it's Sasha's farm, make friends with one of the kids. The kid talks about the importance and value that Sasha had in saving her from Zeke's attack.
That whole circle moment was just
I was just like, this is
it's like this lined up too perfectly. The lineup of all of these characters meet.
This is how you tell a story. I was like, this is such a gripping, contained experience. Like, this is separate from everything that Eren's fucking doing. His whole life motto, crazy shit that he's doing. We have this whole subplot occurring that is just happening, and that was draining. Like, it was like, this hurts to watch. And the voice actors destroyed. They ate. No. They ate those scenes up, David. When
Titan's voice acting is always just
probably
the best thing of that show.
I was like, I was just screaming, dude. I was screaming. It's crazy that there's been no action for like 4 episodes, and I still fucking scream every episode.
It's just exposition, and it's just like, oh my god.
But it's so well.
Sasha's dad's speech too. He's like, we gotta, the adults of today gotta shoulder the sins of the past. We can't teach it to our kids. And I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my god. I hope that David, you better mark this on the thing as Attack on Titan spoilers so that people notice it, because we just fucking went over everything. But
it's almost like, I feel like whenever Thor's told his son Thorfinn that he has no enemies. And nothing can be solved with violence. I feel like maybe there's another good anime really about war. I don't know.
We have talked about Vinland Saga and talked about it being a masterpiece. I can't wait for more Vinland Saga, dude.
Season 2 is going to be great. It should be
Vinland Saga, if Wit Studio carries on and keeps doing it, I feel like Vinland Saga is also going to be a modern
Speaking of Vinland Saga, has there been any news? Is there any plans for a season 2?
Originally, it was planned to be January this year. But obviously because of COVID, everything's been pushed back. So.
To April? So, is it a spring?
Couple other news things we can talk about. Yeah, I hope we get it this year, dude. But a couple other small news things. I don't think we mentioned yet on the podcast. Black Clover's anime is going on hiatus. I don't think any of us care. But on episode 170, it is taking a break. So if you watch the show, I'm not caught up on it. Kenny, I think, reads the manga. Kenny?
Yeah. I do. It's awesome. I like the manga. Fuck.
But you don't watch the anime?
Bullshit just happened, bro. They're doing like some bullshit. So
so Black Clover's anime is taking a break for the time being. It might be going seasonal. There's been no official announcements, but 170 will be the end of the current run. So that's important info to know.
So it is a hiatus. It's not like the animation studio, whoever's animating it, is not doing it anymore.
It seems like Studio Pierrot is just. They have not announced that they're coming back for more, but it seems like it'll happen. But whether or not it'll be a seasonal thing, like in a year they're going to come back with 20 more episodes or something, nobody knows yet. They haven't announced any info on that, so that's important to think or to know about.
They're going to be busy with Bleach.
There's a couple other small news things like Jujutsu Kaisen's authors talked about how the manga might be coming to an end in the next couple of years. So if you didn't know that, if you're a big Jujutsu Kaisen fan. I hope the anime continues to roll out. I think it will. It's had a massive surge in sales, but the author does seem like the show could be wrapping up in the next 2 or so years. It has been officially announced Demon Slayer's next season is coming out by the end of the year. If you guys didn't know that, we are officially going to get that, and there should be an official dub and sub version of the movie, hopefully coming before the new season starts. So that's going to be coming soon. So keep on the lookout for that. I'm sure it'll be up or at least available on DVD and Blu-ray sometime. I'm hoping over the summer at this point. I don't think there's an official date yet, but I do believe it got a run. I want to say they ran it in theaters in Florida or something like that. Did you guys hear about this?
Why Florida of all places?
They wanted it to qualify for the Oscars, I think. I think that the Demon Slayer wanted to qualify to be like in the animations category for the Oscars, which makes sense because it's like the third best-selling film of 2020 in the whole world.
Yeah.
Highest
grossing film in Japan of all time.
Of all time, so kind of crazy.
The author is now one of the Times 100 this past year.
Oh yeah, the author got put on the Times 100. So it makes sense, but Florida was like the one place they could do it because of like COVID restrictions or something. I'm sure it had something to do with that. So they ran a premiere in Florida because like Florida man. But so that's pretty cool. I think that already happened. I think that was in February when that happened. So
man.
So some people in America have seen the movie, potentially in theaters. They went and saw it.
In a packed movie theater?
Packed movie theater, no mask,
theater?
popcorn smacking, COVID grabbing everything, my man. No, I'm just,
oh my God.
So the movie is hopefully going to be coming, but it exists, if that makes sense. The sub and dub version is out there. Funimation's already put the work in. I'm sure it'll be on Blu-ray, DVD in the next couple months. We'll be able to see it before the new season rolls out, which is very exciting. I'm very excited for that. A couple other Shonen Jump sort of news. I mean, obviously Chainsaw Man is on its way later this year as an anime, finally. Be getting that soon.
No new trailers for it?
No trailer. No trailer yet.
That was about to be fucking good, bro.
I did see a thing. I was on YouTube and I got suggested. It was like, first trailer, Chainsaw Man. I clicked it. You know what it was?
Some dude talking over a picture.
Was it? No, like, it was like Dick Butt or something.
No, it was a fucking Rick Roll. I got Rick Rolled.
No!
Wait, did you get gnomed?
Bro, I was so pissed. I was like, I don't know why I clicked it. I knew it wasn't real. The name of the account was like something like image XXY, like something stupid. And I was like, why did I click that? I was like, what?
You were that hungry for some Chainsaw Man.
I was like, let me see that Chainsaw Man trailer. And it was like, never gonna give you up. And I was like, God damn it. I was so pissed.
Come on, Jerry. You're a boomer now, bro.
Got Rick rolled.
Wait, something I just remembered. Has there been any news about the Uzumaki anime adaptation?
I haven't seen any updates since last year. There was some. It was supposed to come out last year. They were partnering with Adult Swim to create the anime, and to my knowledge, there's just been no updates. So that's unfortunate.
Rip. Damn.
Yep. A couple other new shows that have gotten announcements though that I do want to make clear. Platinum End, which is a series by the author and artist of Death Note.
Yep.
Their manga has completed, and an anime adaptation has been announced for this year.
I need to finish
so.
it.
That's really exciting because it's a completed story, and I hope they really do a good job at adapting that and putting that out. To Your Eternity, the same author that wrote A Silent Voice, is another series that is officially slated for later this year. Really exciting. We on the podcast loved A Silent Voice. We talked it up for fucking hour or something on the podcast. So if you haven't watched that episode, go watch it and go watch the movie first. But go watch our review of A Silent Voice because that's an amazing show or amazing movie, amazing manga, and we would strongly suggest it. But the show's called, To Your Eternity, should be coming out later this year as well. Eden Zero is finally getting an anime adaptation. I don't know if we've talked about that yet. You guys know Eden Zero?
Yeah, we're all big fans of Fairy Tail.
Yeah, that's Hiro Mashima. No. It's Hiro Mashima. Hiro Mashima, the author of Fairy Tail.
Yeah.
The smash hit Fairy Tail. If you are a Fairy Tail fan, his newest anime or his newest manga is finally getting adapted into an anime later this year. So, if that's your thing, if you like Hiro Mashima, he pretty much just does the same thing for every arc of every anime he's ever written. So if you liked anything in Fairy Tail, he'll probably just repeat the exact same thing. He legitimately just steals his own characters and just uses them again.
Far has been in every...
Yeah, he's just in all of them. And Happy is coming back. I think he's in Eden Zero 2 or some shit.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that the other two are just reskinned Natsu and Lucy. But beside the point... that is getting a nice new anime adaptation as well. Seems like people are a little excited for that.
A new anime, Hell's Paradise, Jigoku Raku. If you've heard of that one, I read the manga. It's really good. You should check that one out. It's coming out soon.
Wait, what's it called, Kenny?
On it, Kenny. No, I'm just...
Hell's Paradise,
Jigoku
Raku.
It's not
okay, he's gonna act like this. No, it's a
Where are we at? Yeah.
It's Jump Plus.
Oh, it is. Oh, it's Jump
okay.
Plus though.
Yeah.
That's exciting because so over the last couple of weeks, I watched a show called Astra Lost in Space, which is a manga that was written for Shonen Jump Plus, which is their web Shonen Jump. And it was a manga written for Shonen Jump. It was a completed story, so it was only like 49 chapters. And then a year or two after it completed, they made an anime adaptation that faithfully adapted the whole manga. If you haven't seen Astra Lost in Space, maybe we'll do a review here on the channel. But it's very interesting because I watched it and I was really impressed by the anime. And it made me excited because we have been reading some Shonen Jump Plus titles here on the channel. Spy Family is one that we're mostly fans of, as well as Kaiju.
So funny.
Kaiju number 8, if you've read that as well. So Kaiju number 8 is another really awesome upcoming manga series on Shonen Jump Plus, which is their digital Shonen Jump. It just doesn't get published. They do publish it in tankobon in volume format, but they do not publish it in their weekly magazine format. In Japan, it just goes directly to the web.
Vigilantes also runs in.
Yep, My Hero Academia Vigilantes, if you've seen that anywhere, if people listening have seen that anywhere, it's a great side story about My Hero. I've read a little bit of that as well. And yeah, so those series are getting faithful anime adaptations. You know, you got Astra Lost in Space, and now Kenny, what was this called? Hell's Paradise?
Hell's Paradise, Jigoku Raku.
So we're getting another series adapted. So it really makes me excited because I hope that Spy Family gets a good anime, and I think it will. It's hella popular from what I can tell. It's got to be one of the most popular currently running, with Kaiju number 8 also now having a really strong fan base. So if you haven't checked out Shonen Jump Plus or some of the titles that run in Shonen Jump Plus, go give them a shot. I'll tell all listeners, go give them a shot. They're very similar in caliber and quality to what you'd get in a standard Shonen Jump magazine, but they have a lot more freedom with their storytelling because they're no longer restricted to the shonen demographic. So that's a really exciting thing to look at. There's another show that actually, it's not even on the American Shonen Jump, but it's by the person who wrote Hitman Reborn. She has a Shonen Jump Plus title in Japan that Viz has not published in America yet, which I'm a little frustrated about. She has a title that's been running in Shonen Jump Plus, and I would like to eventually read it at some point in time. So I can't think of what it's called, though, Kenny, if you want to pull it up. I don't know if you're looking it up.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, so there we go. We're all caught up. So that's mostly anime news. Any other anime news I missed, guys? I feel
Shit ton of news. I got nothing else.
Huh, Ken?
I no. Fire Punch ran in Jump Plus as well.
Oh yeah, Fire Punch, Chainsaw Man. Before
Chainsaw Man's going to be running in Jump Plus.
And yeah, and Chainsaw Man's moving to Jump Plus. Fire Punch ran in Jump Plus. Chainsaw Man's moving to Jump Plus.
Part 2.
Really exciting shit. Okay, continuing shows. What are we keeping up with, boys? What are we watching weekly right now? Let's start. Someone throw one out there. What are we watching?
Quintessential Quintuplets.
Quintuplets!
It's so
dirty
good.
romance bastards.
Kenny, my favorite changes every
Nano
week.
bastards.
My favorite changes every week.
No, my ship has got to sail. Nino, okay? Nino!
They've been, so this season so far they've done a lot of Nino. I feel like last season was more Miku and not Ichika. Ichika.
Oh.
Is that her name?
All right, I'm quitting the podcast.
There's Itsuki.
Ichika's the oldest.
Yeah, Ichika. I feel like there was a lot of Ichika like near the end of last season.
Yeah, Ichika's getting, it looks like she's in the limelight again, okay?
Yeah, I mean, she was in that movie, Kenny. She was in that movie.
She's in that movie. She's also doing some bullshit right now, throwing her sister under the bus.
Oh, yeah. Jerry, you gotta watch this show. It's so good.
I gotta be honest. This is my ideal. If we get, because okay, this is what happens in all fucking animes like this. One girl gets picked, right? I think that this show could truly have the ultimate harem end, where he ends up with all 5 of the sisters.
Oh my god! For those of you that are listening, that might be listening to us and not know what we're talking about, Quintessential Quintuplets is currently in its 2nd season, and it is about a tutor. He's a guy. He's kind of a piece of shit.
It's a harem. It's a harem with twins.
It's a harem.
They're quintuplets, not twins. Jerry.
This guy, he's tutoring these 5 girls. They're quintuplets, and they slowly but surely he falls in love with one of them, and there's lots of
fall in love with any of them.
Flash forwards to the future of him marrying one of the 5, but we don't know who it is. So the whole anime is basically a guessing game of who he's marrying. So
yep.
It's
that's every romance anime,
which is every yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least shonen style romance animes, but it sucks because I love Nino, but somehow she got shifted. Like, she was not in the forefront in the first season, and it felt like, usually the love doesn't bud until the end for the winner, right? For the main ship to set sail. And so if Nino has already budded,
it's going to be Yotsuba. It's going to be Yotsuba.
That she seems like the farthest away, but also her and Futaro are such good friends.
Yeah,
like they like are actually they're like buddies. Which
Jerry,
listen, I have no input. I just have never seen it.
No,
I hope it's not Itsuki, because Itsuki is like, she's lame. Okay, I don't like Itsuki.
Hey,
okay?
she likes to eat. Come on now, she's a foodie.
Like the main girl, right?
Yeah. I don't know. All I know is so far this season, it's been. I'm liking that they're giving, because I feel like the first season they gave 2 of the 5 a lot of the limelight. I feel like this season they're giving Nino, who was kind of left out last season. They're giving her some of the limelight. Hey, what's up, Leo?
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy?
I feel like actually Itsuki is being left out, but both seasons it feels as though Yotsuba has been almost totally left out.
Yeah, she's totally left out. She's like, I don't know, like the cool chick. Like, she's one of the guys.
Yeah. She also hasn't like developed feelings for him yet. So
yeah.
Which honestly, if that happens before the end of the season, bro.
Oh, the cliffhanger is going to be like Yotsuba's going to be like, actually,
she's like, I feel weird when I'm around
Isugi-kun, I love you.
Yeah. I think she what does she call him?
Uesugi-san.
She does the beat.
Yeah.
She bro.
Jerry, you gotta hop on this show. It's so good.
You gotta watch Quintessential Quintuplets. Okay, let me tell you.
I'm about to be the quintessential quintuplet. No.
I think that the show could have the harem end, though, right? The ultimate. If you play any of these dating sims, the ultimate end is the harem end, right? You date all the girls, okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kenny, have you read the manga?
No, I haven't, bro. I don't want to.
Kenny's actually doing the anime.
I love the anime, but maybe I'll read the manga, bro. I'm such a fucking piece of shit about it. I literally read like a whole manga today, so I don't know.
What'd you read today?
I read a Chinese manga, or I don't know what they call them, but it's called God Reborn or something. Bro, I actually read this really good. What are those shows called that God of High School was? It's a really good manhwa, but it's like an online
webtoon.
It's a webtoon. Really good webtoon. It's got like 130 chapters. It's called A Returner's Magic Should Be Special. And Lord. I really enjoy it. It's really, really... I have a really good time with it. It's actually not...
I really want to watch... I want to read Sweet Home, because I like the live action show they put on Netflix. Looked really cool.
What is Sweet Home?
It's another webtoon. It just runs on Webtoon or whatever. It's a Korean webtoon.
Oh, they did a live action?
They did a live action Netflix adaptation of it, instead of an anime. So
weird.
I've been curious to watch the live action and then maybe read the webtoon a little bit. But
so, what else are we watching?
Okay, I'm watching Quintuplets.
Jerry,
I'm happy you guys are enjoying Quintuplets.
Quintessential.
I'm not gonna yuck your yums.
Quintessential, Jerry.
I will watch it eventually so we can review it on the podcast, because I have a feeling I will probably enjoy it to an extent. I do like a good romance harem if it's a lot of fun, and it sounds like Quintuplets is good character development. So maybe one day I'll watch it. We'll see. I don't know what else are we watching, boys. What are we sticking with?
Jerry, what are you watching? What are you watching?
Let's kick some things to the curb. So Titan, we've talked enough about on this episode.
Titan.
We're all watching
Titan.
We're all watching Promised Neverland.
We're all watching Promised Neverland. We should briefly talk about it, because Kenny's read the whole manga though.
Read the manga, yep.
Kenny's read the whole manga. David and I are watching the anime.
Manga's good.
For those of you watching the anime right now with David and I, it's not good.
They just skipped the whole arc. I just found out. I had no idea.
David, from your perspective, before knowing that, how were you feeling about the last couple episodes?
I feel like I felt like everything was normal, but then there was like, what was it? It was the episode where it's like they left. I can't remember their names, but they left the 2 demons that were helping them. They like got on their own 2 feet.
Soju and Mujika.
Like after they left Soju and Mujika, and then they found like their own little.
That's the skip. That's right there.
Yeah, that was when I was like, wait. I felt like a lot happened. That I just felt like there was like some kind of gap. Which, I mean, if I found out that there's a whole arc missing, that's probably just confirming that feeling.
Yeah. So pretty much right after they left Sonju and Mujika, so the anime started the first 2 or 3 episodes adapting the next part of the manga just fine. Around episode 3 of this season, we got our first cut, which is where they go to the first bunker and then they leave the first bunker. Okay, so that happens over the course of I think episodes 4.
Are there supposed to be multiple bunkers?
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
Ken? I think there's So sorry, manga spoilers now too. We're going to be discussing the manga and anime of.
We gotta get better at announcing spoiler alerts before
the current anime. The current anime is adapting through to the end of the manga. So if you don't want to be spoiled on the manga, quit watching the anime right now because they've already skipped to the end of the series. So if you don't want to be spoiled on the manga, you're already spoiled yourself if you're caught up right now. To be honest, so just to warn those of you who are watching, if you're caught up with the anime, we're not going to be talking about anything beyond the anime. So if you are caught up on the anime, you can have this conversation with us. Just know that we are going to talk a little bit about the missing content that got chunked out of the anime. So if you want to go read that yourself and you don't want to be spoiled on that a little bit, then go read it yourself. Don't worry about us talking about it now. But yes, so read it. Let's get into it. Yeah, so I'm not going to spoil it too bad, but so if you want to stick around, but the main thing is that yes, there was a story arc that involved the second bunker that was there. And so that all was mished together into the one bunker that they got to. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then there was a second story arc that happened after bunker 1, completely cut out, gone. And then if you remember, there was a time skip, David, that happened between episodes.
Yeah, it was like a year.
Yeah, between 4 and 5, they skipped a year into the future.
Yeah.
And that was another big cut. Just a massive cut of a story arc gone as well. So
which is weird that they only skipped a year because it looks like they're doing their ages that they are supposed to be in the manga. And
the designs,
I think it's like 4 years. They're supposed to be
the designs match the manga where it was like 3. I think it was 3 years, Kenny, into the future, if I remember.
Okay. So there's like 17.
So yeah, they should be like 16-year-olds or something, but they're still like 14-year-olds.
Yeah. Are they animated that like? Is there a notable difference of their design in the manga when they're like 16, 17 compared to like an anime?
Because there is a time skip, but it's a 2-year time skip plus a year of time passed in the manga.
Yeah. No, so that's why if you look at the latest episodes, David, they look a little bit older than they're telling us they are, if that makes any sense. Like, they, it says a year has passed, but sometimes the shots of Emma, she looks much older than 14 or 13. You know what I mean? So I think they're kind of matching the future manga designs, but just didn't jump enough time forward, which is really crazy to me because
that's weird.
I don't know. But so then, for those of you watching the anime, they then proceeded to, instead of showing us a lot of storyline that was happening throughout that, Norman shows up at the end of episode 5. Sorry, I should have said at the end of episode 5. If you're not caught up to episode 5, Norman shows up.
We already said spoilers are coming. Okay.
Yeah, we did.
But then episode 6 and 7 were just expo dumps. We got these massive scenes where it's Norman and Emma sitting in a room together. Norman saying this, and this happened. And Emma going, well, this, and happened to us. And, back and forth, 5, 10, 15 minutes of just pure exposition dumps to just catch us all up. And then the final story arc happened, a.k.a. Norman the Executioner, Norman the fucking genocidal maniac, which is one of the most undeserved character motivations I've ever watched in anime. Like, there's nothing that we have watched in the anime, at least, that has led me to believe Norman should be that genocidal. Like,
he's killing kids. They've setting kids on fire.
No motivation to get him there. The story has just jumped so much leaps and bounds to get to the end that it's just whatever. And there's only 3 episodes left, David.
Yeah.
So.
And then it's done.
2 episodes left. Sorry. Yeah. Episode 9 was this week. We only have 10 and 11, and then we're done.
Wait, it's not even airing 12 episodes? It's ending on 11?
No, 11 episodes.
That's an odd-ass number.
Yep.
Wait, I'm confused. Okay, wait. Has the stuff, the shit's already hit the fan? What is Emma doing? Have you even talked about the promise?
So if you watch the latest episode, this is what happened in the latest episode. Emma told Norman, give me 5 days to find Sonjun Mujika because Sonjun Mujika's blood will allow demons to not eat humans. And Norman says, okay, fine. But then Norman goes to his guys and he's like, I lied to Emma. We're going to genocide the town. When Emma finds Sonjun Mujika in the latest episode, they were attacked by demons. Sonjun Mujika ended up saving them. Right as they save them, Emma looks to her right. The town is exploding. Eclipse and Norman, he's genociding the town. He's out here murdering. He's murdering left and right.
They got there so fast too. It was like a minute later, and they were like, they were in the town. They were like all over there, and they're like,
we went from learning about genocide to genocide happening in 40 minutes of content. Like, it was like, oh, they're gonna kill all the demons, to oh fuck, they're killing all the demons. So this shit was speeding by. We were like on a rocket ship to Mars. At this
There's only 2 episodes left.
There's only 2 episodes left, Kenny. I don't know what's gonna happen.
There are so many characters that they need to introduce.
They won't. Gone.
Cut.
I don't know.
Cut.
Remember earlier in the season when they tried to be like, ooh, Isabella's coming back. We haven't seen her ass since that. She's gone.
Yeah.
She's disappeared as well. They were like, ooh, wait, what?
There is so much that
the last scene of the last episode, Norman is going to kill a demon child, and he hears the grandpa or whatever yell, Emma! And he realizes that the demon and her friend have the same name. Yep. And he starts to have doubts. This is a Batman versus Superman Martha moment that just happened in Promised Neverland. And I said, this is the shittiest storytelling I've ever watched. I was like, we have devolved into absurdity now, guys. This is broken. This story is completely lost. There's nothing. DC. They can't save it. I kept having hope that maybe they could change directions and it still work and be enjoyable. But the expo dumps, followed by the speed at which characters are making decisions, the lack of motivation of characters. I mean, it's all just it's a jumbled mess. The characters are no longer, they're barely even similar to who they were in the first arc. But on top of that, getting them, like, there was no arc to get them there. It was just,
right.
Norman's nice, honest, and cool. He was experimented on for a couple months, maybe a year. We don't know the timeline at all.
Yeah.
The timeline's an absolute mess. We see a couple of those experiments happen, but nothing to say like that he was like tortured. We saw like a couple flashback experiments happen on him. And then all of a sudden he broke out of the demon facility and wants to murder all the demons. He became a genocidal literal maniac. And he is the exact flip. He's the mirror image of Emma now without anything to motivate him to get him there.
Yeah.
And this show it's a steaming pile of shit. I mean, it's
pretty disappointing.
It's absolutely disappointing. And
I don't know why they decided to rush it to the end. Like, why didn't they just do 3 seasons? You know, or like what was their, I don't know what the purpose was of finishing it this season.
I don't know. Kenny, do you know? I mean, I thought
is the best arc. Goldie Pond is my favorite arc. The arc that they skipped over is my favorite arc.
Goldie Pond.
It's my favorite arc in the manga.
Goldie Pond will go down in anime community history as like the biggest mishap of any anime. Like, they fucking cut Goldie Pond.
I don't know why they would do that. I even like the final arc, but it sounds like they're leaving out so much.
They have to. Kenny, how can you cut 80 chapters of exposition and then proceed to adapt a final 40 chapter arc in 6 episodes? It's impossible. You just can't do it. And
unless you cut everything. Just cut everything.
If we're gonna meet Isabella, that means we aren't going to meet I assume we aren't going to meet any of the demon royalty. None of them.
That's never even been mentioned.
That concept hasn't even been mentioned.
5 characters that are inherently important to the story are not going to be met.
Chunked.
And characters that
we met this guy last episode.
Who?
We did meet this guy last episode that was like a scientist. I can't think of his name. He was a human male scientist.
Peter Rafferty.
Yes, and he seems important. Yeah. But we got a single 2-minute scene with him. 1 minute maybe. And that's the entirety of and I was like, I bet this guy was more important than the manga. That's all I thought when it happened. I was like, I bet this guy was more important than the manga.
I don't get it. So the demon royalty, who we meet some of them in Goldie Pond, we're not going to meet any of them. We're not going to even. Is there any? Have they said something's going on in the demon towns?
I mean, aside from like the smoke that Norman just released, that's like degenerating all of them. No,
There was one scene where a small child demon was not being fed well, and we got this sort of understanding that there was some social unrest in the demon towns, and that lower socioeconomic demons were not able to feed their kids humans at the time being, so they were having to feed them other things. And there was some mention of the fact that there are some dark secrets, and that Sonju and Mujika's blood, which is supposed to allow humans to live without eating, the demons genocided everyone who had that blood in their system. They went through and killed. They went through and killed one at a time all of the demons that had that, because they did not want to throw off the balance of power, is what they said. The demons didn't want. They wanted to keep eating the humans. That's their favorite food.
Oh my god, we aren't even gonna.
Did
Norman team up with? Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Norman used this analogy to explain it. He said, just because, he was like, if your favorite food told you not to eat it, just because there are other foods out there, would you listen? And that was like his analogy to explain like why they had to kill off.
If it told me, probably I would.
Yeah, I feel like he looked me straight in the eyes and said, "Bitch, don't. I might stop." But
if Cheez-Its were looking at me and be like, "Bro, stop."
Kenny, quit eating Cheez-Its.
I know where I'm going.
You're right.
I gotta go to the store.
Okay. Has Norman teamed up with a demon clan?
No.
So there's like a fifth royal family that got like exiled, and they're like beast demons.
Norman has like six guys that work with him. There's like a guy with a bag on his head, a bald guy with scars, some girl that eats demons for fun. We got like a brief mention. We met all of them in like
Norman's team, right?
Yeah, those guys that he broke out of.
It doesn't even show that thing.
I've already forgotten what the name of this, like the
Zeta.
It was Lambda something.
Lambda. They're all from Lambda.
That's one of the coolest Norman parts in the manga.
Kenny, this is a bastardized Frankenstein Promised Neverland. This is barely what the
manga is. Why so much of the Sonju Mujika stuff, bro?
We've gotten like so much. Like Sonju and Mujika is like 3 of the 7 episodes we've gotten were just them.
That's a waste, honestly. Especially because like their storyline won't be completed. They can't. All of the characters that are important to their storyline don't exist.
That's pretty disappointing. That's really fucking disappointing.
So
at least I know. So what I'm hearing is that I need to treat this story like how I'm treating Tokyo Ghoul and just ignore the anime, read the manga.
Yep. Everyone has actually started to immediately compare this to Tokyo Ghoul. This is like the direct comparison. People have been saying, "Yep, it's getting Tokyo Ghoul. It's getting Tokyo Ghoul."
Damn.
So. And the reality of it is, I've heard some people already begging, like, 10 years from now, Promised Neverland Brotherhood. But, like...
It's already done, though.
I was about to say, the reason why Brotherhood exists is because the original anime and manga were running simultaneously, and they caught up.
Yeah.
Brotherhood got made because, okay, now the story's finished, let's go readapt it. Promised Neverland was done before the season aired. The whole manga's there. If there was an audience for it, the anime studio would have done it. You know what I mean? They would have gone
Cloverworks?
Huh?
Is it Cloverworks?
Yeah, that's
it. They did it dirty.
My assumption continues to be that the negative press they received from the ending of the manga led the studio to panic and say, we cannot do more than one more season. And they said, okay, let's just wrap it up.
Wait, the manga's ending wasn't received well?
The manga's ending got a lot of negative feedback, and it made Shueisha, the publisher, very disappointed. And the sales for the manga really dropped off. So the show, there was worry that the anime, if it followed the manga exactly, would have a similar negative response. So they attempted to course correct. But additionally, there was no confidence that more seasons past the season 2 would continue to be profitable. So the anime has chosen to finish it up in one season of 11 episodes because that's what they were ordered to have. So I think there was probably an original version of this season that was probably just a direct adaptation of Goldie Pond, Kenny. There was probably some version of this season that would have just been 11 episodes adapting Goldie Pond, which would have probably still been a little fast-paced. But, you know.
Goldie Pond's a lot of action. Like, there's an exposition, and then it's a lot of action.
4 to 5 chapters an episode for a Shonen Jump anime is actually a pretty good pace. So they easily could have got it. I bet there's a version somewhere on someone's desk where this season was supposed to be Goldie Pond, and they panicked because the negative response and reaction and the dip in sales, and Cloverworks said, nope, we're bailing. And instead of just canceling the show altogether, which is what I think they should have done, so that they could maintain the legacy of their first season, they decided to just go through with it and make this shitty abomination.
That's so crazy because I think that Goldie Pond genuinely being animated would have been good for both the manga and the anime because it's such an awesome arc. And I think that if people were soured by the ending, they would revisiting, I think, the best arc in the manga, revisiting that would, I think, make people more interested and more invested in. I didn't hate the ending. I really liked the ending, actually.
See, I've heard people that actually, like you, Kenny, that actually enjoyed the overall, like reading it beginning to end. And my wife's reading the whole story. I'm excited because she seems like it's really happy with the manga. So I'm excited to sit down and read the manga once the season ends because I think it's going to just be a superior experience. And I'm going to be I think it's going to feel good reading it beginning to end because I'm sure that maybe people I feel like people get disappointed when something comes out weekly and it doesn't meet their expectations or something.
Right. Yep.
But when you go back and binge it, you're like, oh, wait, it was well written. But the weakliness of it, you lose certain aspects, you lose components. So
sure.
Sometimes you have to look at the whole picture for it to realize how good it is.
Yeah. One Piece in particular, I feel like I like going back and reading full arcs.
Oh my God. Yes. It's so fun to read weekly, but it's so awesome to go back and binge. That's why Alyssa and I will, I'll read the manga every week, but then I'll go back and watch the anime in chunks because I get details that I forgot about or I missed, or I'll notice things where it's like, oh shit, this was a reference 80 chapters ago that is actually relevant now or something. One Piece is great at that, but Promised Neverland, I wonder if that'll be the same experience. But we should move on. David and I will finish it. We'll watch the season.
Yep.
Rest in peace to Promised Neverland.
I'm honestly probably not gonna watch the remaining episodes until I read all the manga.
Do it.
Yeah, otherwise you'll spoil the end.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I don't want to spoil it.
Yakusoku no Neverland really had a rough run this semester or this season. So
you know what didn't have a rough run though?
What?
Motherfucking Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, I mean we've weebed out about Jujutsu Kaisen.
You talk about Jujutsu Kaisen every week.
We can't. I mean, we'll briefly mention. Let's just be quick. The girls looked really good in baseball uniforms. Let's just be quick. That's all I needed to say. That's it. Kenny, was the baseball chapter?
Yes, bro.
That was the manga, right?
Yeah, Gojo was like, "What? It's just like a normal sports festival."
Why? I loved it. I loved it so much. I love everything that damn anime does. It cannot go wrong. It cannot go wrong. This series is
when my boy Yuji was like 5 black flashes,
bro.
5. Wait, it was 4 or 5 black flashes.
David, that fight between Todo and Yuji versus what was her name, Minami.
Jerry, I rewound so many times.
That is a masterclass in shonen anime fighting. It was so beautifully animated. You know, like sometimes you get like really pretty shots for like 20 seconds.
Yeah,
that was a beginning to end full episode of well animated, well directed. I mean, it's just how you do shonen anime. Like Mappa killed it, and Jujutsu Kaisen is truly a testament to their abilities in this realm.
I think Jujutsu Kaisen, you can lean a lot on the manga too. He's very frenetic. There's lots of chapters that are low words, high action.
Unlike Demon Slayer or Titan, Gege Akutami, the Jujutsu Kaisen manga has been popular since day one and is continuing to be popular. So this is a popular manga that is now getting turned into a more popular anime, and I bet Chainsaw Man will be similar. Chainsaw Man is an incredibly popular manga, and when it becomes an anime, it'll just become even more popular.
Yeah, people are like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah, bro. That's so. Jujutsu Kaisen is not like a Demon Slayer situation where it's like it was on the chopping block. Jujutsu Kaisen was popular, and now it's just getting more popular. So this is dope for Jujutsu Kaisen fans. I'm stoked out of my mind. So if you're not caught up, catch up. It's a one.
Chainsaw Man chapter 69 animated. Oh my god.
Let's not talk about that, bro. Oh. When I read that chapter,
I'm so excited. It's gonna be a few years for that, but
yeah, I've been watching this new anime. It's called what was it called? It's called Vampire Night. I've been watching this show called Vampire Night. What?
It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Jerry. Why aren't we talking about Vampire Night right now?
Vampire Night. Hey guys, if you didn't know, David's favorite anime of all time is Vampire Night.
Vampire Night.
If you want to send Vampire Night any Vampire Night merch, please hit us up. We will give you David's personal address so you can send him all of the Vampire Night merch. No,
I'll give you a PO box.
And like we say
Don't
every week
dox me.
here on the Uncensored Anime Podcast, like we say every week here on the Uncensored
Podcast.
if we reach 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, 1,000 subscribers, David, Kenny, and I will watch every single episode of Vampire Night live.
stream.
We will live stream it, and then we will do a full-blown, literal review of Vampire Night. We will give you our full thoughts on Vampire Night. If you want to hear that, if you want to see that, get all your friends to just subscribe to the Uncensored Anime Podcast here on YouTube. That's what we're doing. That's what we're all about. Okay.
Realistically, I'm watching ReZero.
I think you're the only one. So
I'm trying to catch up.
ReZero
I'm trying to catch up on that and Dr. Stone.
One of my favorites. It's like this is crazy. They didn't do an opening for the second season or the second half of the season for like 8 episodes, and every episode was like 29 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So it was covering a lot of content. I think they're trying to get to a certain point. I think they want to finish this arc by the end of this season. And so I think that I don't know, it doesn't seem like they rushed anything. I think that a lot of the content's getting there. I really like ReZero. ReZero might be my favorite isekai. Maybe Shield Hero is. I really like Shield Hero.
My favorite isekai.
But Mushoku Tensei, though.
I'm saying it right now. I hate isekai anime. My favorite isekai is Mushoku Tensei. It is fucking genius. Genius.
I caught up last night. I wanted more. I want more.
I read the manga.
Can't stop. Every week I have to watch it when it comes out because
I really like Mushoku Tensei.
I have never watched an isekai that's made me actually care about its characters or care about its plot development or its world. And Mushoku Tensei is so eloquently crafted. I mean, yes, it's really edgy.
Jerry.
I mean, guys, there are scenes. I got to be upfront. If you haven't watched it, there's one scene where one girl is listening to 2 people have sex and masturbating in the hallway. That happens in this show. He grabs
a couple
boobies,
times.
He steals underwear, and the Ghislaine she's a sexy beast woman. I mean, that's just what she is. Her tits are pretty much all the way out. But despite all of that, the development of these characters and the world that they are in is so finely tuned, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. It's very, very fun to watch. It is a very, very fun to watch show. It looks like an anime film. Every episode looks like a movie. The animation is just so well touched up, and the storyline is perfectly paced. It just really feels like it's taking its time with taking us through Rudy's experience in this world. And for those of you that don't know, the original web novel was broken down into chunks based off different parts of Rudy's life. It's like adolescence, young boy, and then older boy, and then conclusion. Mm-hmm. And the web novel is finished. So there is a complete story out there. The manga and the light novel versions have not completed yet, but the original web novel is all done. It's 25 volumes. And this season is supposed to be adapting all of his adolescence. So we should be finished with the adolescence by the end of the season. But there's one claim there. We're only getting half of it right now. So if you're watching it with us, it actually ends with 11 episodes, and then we'll be coming back for the remainder. I think it's 12 or 13 episodes later this year. So we're getting a mid-season. We're getting a mid-season break, sort of like ReZero did, Kenny. We're getting a mid-season break, so we'll get the rest of it. But that will wrap up his adolescence by the end of that season. I think there's a lot of hope that it'll get renewed for a second season, and we'll get his young boy part, and then it'll get renewed for a third season, and we'll get the finale, the last part. And I think that everything I've seen is just positive, and the show seems really well reviewed. So I'm really hoping we get Mushoku Tensei. If you're not watching it, it's a really fun isekai about an old piece of shit that dies in the real world, wakes up in another world, and has to live from day one. We see him get born, and now he's still just a kid where we are 9 episodes in. He's slowly aging up with the world, and we're getting sort of this redevelopment process for him. So, really cool. There's lots of like gods, demons, dragons, monsters,
spells, I don't know, swords,
royalty, elves, swords, magic,
all
that stuff. But on top of it, lots of mystery, lots of world building, some really cool stuff like what they're doing with the Superd, the demons, just really cool stuff. So,
wait, what part of what? Are we okay? We won't do spoilers.
Quick spoilers for it if you are watching. If you are caught up, you'll be fine. Episode 9, the latest episode. Is her name Eris? No. Eris and Rudy.
Yep.
Were hit by a mana, kind of like an unknown mana portal, and they woke up after Rudy kind of had a visit with like a different type of god on the other side. He wakes up, and he is in the demon continent, and he wakes up with a superd named Rugierd. He wakes up and he meets Rugierd. Rugierd is a superd that's actually trying to change the narrative around superds. He wants them to be not feared because they were actually handed like cursed spears that made them commit atrocities.
Right.
They're not actually bad. So he's trying to redo that narrative. So as a part of that goal, he is escorting Eris and Rudy back to their kingdom. They stopped over in Roxy's home village, and we met Roxy's dad and mom. And my boy Rudy asked if he could. Funniest shit I've ever seen. He says, "Can I call you father-in-law?" And he goes, "No." I was like, this guy.
He tried. He shot his shot.
He shot his shot. He sure as hell did.
He shot his shot, bro.
He shot his fucking shot. So we are continuing on with Rugierd taking them back to their kingdom in the next episode. So
okay,
I think if you read the web novel, I think it's equivalent to about the third web novel is where we're at. So if anyone's read the web novel, I'm not sure where it lands on the light novel or the manga, but
Jerry, did you see Rudy pad Ghislaine's ass though? Those ass muscles, rock solid,
pure rock.
She had a steel ass.
Baby.
Yeah, but she's the sword saint or whatever, right?
She's a king, I think. She's king level.
Sword king. Yeah.
Hey, Ghislaine is a fucking queen, and I worship her. No, I'm just.
Ghislaine's a waifu.
She's probably like the coolest character. Every time she goes in like the combat mode, it like the animation goes
I feel
up
like a dirty
10 times.
I feel like a dirty weeb every time she comes on screen because I'm just like, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm such a fucking dirty weeb. You know what? Like my entire persona disappears. It evaporates from my body because I'm just like, oh shit, I shouldn't love her, but I'm in love. Okay,
for a character, Jerry, for the character.
Ghislaine statues, okay.
Oh my Jesus Christ! I really want a Ghislaine statue, low key.
Also, so Horimiya, yep. I'm still watching it.
I'm caught up on Horimiya. Yeah,
I'm a piece of shit. I haven't caught up on Horimiya.
I love Horimiya.
We won't get too much into it, but the season is coming to an end. I think it's only going to have 12 episodes, Kenny. So I'm not sure if we're going to get more in the future. I hope we do, but
is there actual like story that's happening, or is it just like back and forth, like just basic? You see their relationship improving, or like progressing?
Do you remember My Love Story that we watched, David?
Yeah,
it's a pretty similar concept. I mean, they like each other, and there's a lot of just small plots that kind of happen around them, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Their friends and family fall in love with each other. You know, there's all this stuff happening. We won't get too deep into Horimiya, though, so David can watch it in the future. But it's a great show. If you're not watching it, also been a lot of fun to keep up with this season. Probably one of the best of the season. I mean, to me,
I really enjoyed Horimiya.
Mushoku's the top to me. It's kind of my favorite one this season, but Horimiya is a very close second. Any other shows we're watching, boys, this season? I think that's most of them, right?
I'm watching some trash, but
I mean,
just throw them out there.
We might have a Rohan Kishibe episode. I don't know if we want to later.
We should. Yeah, we'll talk about Rohan. If you haven't seen it, Rohan
that was a super easy
Netflix.
binge.
Rohan dropped on Netflix. It's 4 OVAs that adapt 4 of the special chapters that Araki wrote. They're one-off chapters, so the stories are all one-offs. If you want to watch it, go watch it on Netflix. We'll definitely have a full discussion about it here on the podcast in the future. So definitely check that out. Thus spoke Kishibe Rohan. It is not a complete story. There are multiple other one-shot chapters that still need to be adapted. These OVAs were part of bundles with manga or DVD box sets. They've just bundled them all together and put them on Netflix for you to watch. So if you want to go watch those, go check them out. There's 4 of them.
Yep. I'm watching the
throw them out there.
Kid from the last dungeon.
Kenny sticking with
First Town. I think it's fucking funny, bro. Yeah.
What else are you keeping up with?
I've been watching Saiyan High School. I feel like
volleyball.
Yeah, I feel like it's gotten worse, honestly, but I'm still watching it.
I was worried that was going to have a mid-season drop-off. It's one that I might binge later, but I'm worried about it.
I'm watching Slime this season, obviously.
Oh, Slime has a new season, if you guys aren't with that.
Yep.
Come on, Kenny, you got more than that. No,
what else? I'm not watching Wonder Egg Priority yet. I need to catch up on Skate the Infinity. I'm like 5 episodes in or something.
Kenny and I have both decided Wonder Egg Priority is getting a lot of buzz right now as it comes close to its conclusion. It's only going to be a 12-episode season. I'm binging it when it's over, and we will certainly have an episode dedicated to Wonder Egg because it has been the talk of the town. The anime man posted a video about it.
Yep.
Mother's Basement has already talked about it. It is definitely going to be potentially the star of this season.
Yeah.
And we really liked the first episode. If you've watched our episode, we loved the first episode.
Yep.
It is certainly a standout show. But I immediately watched the first episode and said, I don't want to wait weekly for this, so I'm just going to wait for it to be over.
I'm about to say, I know that it'll ask too many questions. And
it's going to feel like, I think it's going to be one of those shows that you can watch all 12 and it'll feel like a big movie. And I think that's what I'm looking forward to about it.
It looks like a movie, too. So
yeah, so that's exciting. So Wonder Egg priority. I'm watching Skate, so I'm caught up on Skate. If you're not watching Skate, it's got some boys love, Kenny. Those boys are skating skateboards, and they're in love.
I'm telling you right now, boys love each other. Okay, that's
boys
what we
love each other.
That's what we need to accept here in America. Okay,
we're boys and we love. What's wrong with that?
Boys
can love each other.
Boys can love each other. Boys love each other.
Reki and Lenga are super getting shipped by the community too. Like ship, dude. Like they're getting hella shipped.
Good, bro.
The show is developing quite well. I'm really impressed by it. I love the storytelling. I love the colors. I love the action and animation. Check out Skate if you haven't yet. I won't spoil any of it because I know the boys still live. Are you watching it, David, or no?
Yeah, I'm still watching it.
Are you caught up or no?
I'm like 4 or 5 episodes behind too.
Okay, Alyssa and I are caught up. We love Skate. We watch it every week. Anything else you're watching, David? We haven't mentioned.
I mean, like I said, I'm catching up on Dr. Stone, ReZero.
Oh, Dr. Stone. We should talk about Dr. Stone briefly.
Okay.
Kenny, I don't know if you know this, or David.
I read the manga.
The current season is only 11 episodes. So they're not doing a full episode. They're just adapting the Stone Wars arc. So it is ending right after this.
So they're not cutting anything.
No, they just full adapted the arc. It's 11 episodes, and they're going back on break. So it'll go back to a different arc. So I think it's going to adapt up to about chapter 90 or 91 or something like that. I think is what we'll get up to. Yeah. The pacing has been great. The animation has been top tier in this season. And I'm really happy they're pacing it like they're doing because Boichi has such an amazing art style. It deserves this attention. And season 2 has been phenomenal. They've done so good with Stone Wars. So
that's good.
I'm really impressed. Definitely check that out. If you're not already watching Dr. Stone, if you didn't watch season 1, go watch it and watch season 2. I expect this show to be just like Jujutsu Kaisen. It's going to keep probably getting adapted at a good pace. So get into it now before you end up 5 seasons behind like Food Wars. You know what I mean? Like Food Wars has gotten a lot of respect.
I haven't started that yet either.
Haikyuu, Food Wars, My Hero. It's like at this point it's hard to get in because they're they're all 100 plus or whatever.
Yeah. Black Clover.
But so I'm telling you now, start Dr. Stone now so that you can be caught up and watch it as it comes out in the future because it's going to be another shonen. Kenny said it before in the podcast. It's going to last a long time, and it's going to be a shonen staple for the next couple of years for sure.
Dr. Stone is its own niche. Like,
yeah,
nobody else is doing Dr. Stone content.
No,
nobody.
Dr. Stone is the perfect blend of science experiment meets drama meets high school. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's all of that blended. It's something very unique running in shonen. So go check it out. What else are you watching, David?
I think that's it. I think that's all I'm watching right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think the only thing I'm still watching also, which I think we're about to drop, Alyssa and I are probably going to drop it, is Kemono Jihen. We stuck with it for the most part. We might finish it because it's only 12 episodes, so we only have like 4 episodes left or something. Mm-hmm. So we might stick with it to the end, but it is certainly kind of, I don't know, it's just monster of the week if you know that concept in storytelling.
Yeah, that's the vibe I got from the first episode.
Yeah, it's just like every episode they fight a different monster and they have to fight, find unique ways to fight it. We don't have an overarching story yet, but there's some hints of one. So maybe the later, you've read the manga, so I assume there's probably a longer arc coming up.
There is.
But we probably can't get there in 12 episodes, can we?
Yeah, you may get the first longer arc.
Okay.
Where
one of the latest episodes had the spider guy. He said, "I'm going to go look for my parents."
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the first longer arc.
Okay, I assume that's going to be the last couple episodes, and we'll probably finish that and be done then.
Cool.
Because the season's only going to be 12 episodes. So, you think it might get into some of what's after?
Yeah, because there's another. Well, no, it probably won't then.
That arc started on episode 7. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 5 episodes to go with. But...
Oh, that started on 7?
Yeah.
Oh, no, okay, then you'll do this arc and the next arc, I assume.
You think they'll get through that? And,
so probably 2-3 episode arcs.
Okay, cool. Okay, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Shorter arcs. It's definitely got sort of a Monster of the Week feel. If you like that kind of stuff, it's really fun. The characters are cool. The powers are cool, and the animation is really clean. So if it's your style, go check it out. I don't know if it's really a great show to binge. Monster of the Week shows are hard to binge. They're easier to watch
unless you're
weekly.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Then it's
JoJo's is brilliant. But yeah. So that's it, guys. That's all of our shows.
Wait, actually, Jerry, you made me remember one thing. I'm a spider. So what?
I hate
You're not watching. You're not watching.
I've been watching that every week, and I've been genuinely liking it.
Garbaggio.
I like the manga, but like a lot of the characters that are in it are not in the manga. So
no, yeah, that's
that show is garbage.
I don't know what it is about. Okay, so like the parts, because it does go back and forth between the main character spider parts,
and she's a tsundere.
They already got. Is that a Nindroid?
That's a Nindroid of Eris from Mushoku Tensei.
They already have a Nindroid made of her? It's crazy.
Well, they have the design. It doesn't come out till like late this year.
Oh.
It's like pre-order. It's on pre-order.
Damn.
David, I'm happy you're enjoying Spider. I'm sure there are people out there that are loving it.
Well, okay, so the spider part's really cool because it does that thing that I love most about isekais, like video game isekais, where it does like the whole leveling system, abilities, all this stuff. Like it goes really ham into that stuff.
That's what I like about the manga too.
Yeah. But then like the other half of the show, and they've been like showing, it's like 50-50 in terms of like airtime. But then it's like half of it's spider character, which is cool. The other half is like all the humans and this like hero stuff that's happening, and they're in school and they know that they're the students from the other world, but they call each other like their character names. It's really weird. I'm still confused by that.
I do not understand because I have never met those characters. I'm like 60 chapters into the manga that exist, and I've never met those characters. So I don't know if that's how the light novel's written, where it's does this and that.
It changes POV or something. I don't know.
I've never met those characters in my life, and I've read 60 chapters of the manga that are out. Like I don't.
Yeah, and it's weird because, and this might be spoiler warning for I'm a Spider So What, but in this most recent episode, like at the end of it, they did like this hella flash forward, but like it was confusing because it was like happening in the present. I didn't really get it, but it was basically like the main character as a human. Yeah,
that did happen in the manga.
Yeah, and she's like hella powerful. She's like Demon Lord basically.
Yep.
But like there was no buildup. It was like she was a spider and then she's a human. Like she's the Demon Lord.
She's a spider.
So
she's a human.
I hope that doesn't mean that it pulled a Tokyo Gold Promised Neverland and just cut like a bunch of stuff.
No, it should go back to it. It's like she has like a dream or whatever. She should have been like evolving or whatever, and then she'll wake up.
What if I told you she wasn't? like there was no like precursor of like, oh, I'm gonna select this evolution or I'm gonna do this like from her like level up menu. It was just like she was talking to an admin, and then the admin hung up, and then it was like she's a human.
Okay.
Or I guess demon. So I was confused.
Weird. Okay.
So
yeah, it was like she did the admin call, and then I swear she like selected her new thing, and then had the away chapter where it was like in the future. And then it came back.
Maybe I just like looked away and then like had that like on the screen of like in the future, and I missed it. But that confused me when I saw that.
Yeah, I've never met any of the humans.
She's a spider and she's in another world.
She kills dragons. She kills lava eels.
I think that's what. Do we got anything else to talk about, or?
Kenny's like, all right.
Yeah, Vampire Night. I mean.
So
that's all I'm watching.
Great looking at anime news. You know, we love to have these episodes, but the question I want to ask you guys for our last 20 minutes while we talk, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a buddy, okay?
Yep.
He was finally introduced to anime through My Hero Academia, okay? And a lot of people, I mean, no lie, right? In the last 5 years, a lot of people have watched their first anime, and that anime is My Hero Academia, right?
Yep.
He said, Jerry, I've been watching My Hero since it started, but this is the only anime I've ever watched. And I've never tried anything else. I don't know where to start. And I was looking, I was like, are you sure you want to start, right? Or do you like anime or do you just like My Hero? That's the question. And he was like, I think I like anime. I think I'm interested. Where do I start?
Dope.
And he gave me that question. And it really had me thinking. I said, okay, where would I suggest someone it's kind of weird because like My Hero is the starting point, right? And most people, once they find My Hero, they just kind of devolve into whatever.
Right.
Or back in the day, Dragon Ball was that same show, right? It was the same. Naruto had that same effect. You find Naruto, you find Dragon Ball, you find My Hero, and then you just kind of devolve, right?
Yeah,
you
start
devolve
watching trash.
into everything else. But the question's a great question because I feel like there are fans all around the world that they watch My Hero and they don't know where to go next. Where do we go next, right? So that's my question, boys. Where does a My Hero fan go next? What's their next step?
I think, and this is kind of answering the general question of just like on Reddit, like it's like on our starter kit. Like I think like the anime starter kit would be like 3 anime, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Hunter x Hunter, and something different because I feel like those two are like shonen-esque. So like something that's very like either like very like comedy or maybe even romance. Not Bo. That won't be in the starter kit.
Bit of a deep cut there.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah, but
that's very Japanese.
But like a very like popular like I can't think of any right now, but like a popular, well-known like comedy or like something that's like much more lighthearted than Hunter x Hunter and Full Metal is.
With Bebop, I mean.
Yeah, kind of with Bebop.
Really, that's not lighthearted.
Nah, it's not.
I'm saying like, I don't know.
If you were to say comedies, David, I mean the only thing that comes to mind is something like One Punch Man.
Not even like a comedy, but just like lighthearted, like easy.
One Punch Man.
One Punch Man. Yeah,
I feel like that's like
season 1.
That's a classic.
Season 1 of One Punch Man.
Season 1 of One Punch Man is super easy.
Yep.
Very comedic. It's very funny. It's very Americanized. It's got a really great tone.
I'd say those episodes. 3. Yeah.
So One Punch Man,
Brotherhood.
I already forgot your other ones.
Brotherhood and Hunter x Hunter.
Hunter x Hunter. Okay, that's your anime starter kit.
Yep.
Yeah, and I say specifically Hunter x Hunter because a lot of people that I've just like talked to over the years who
and I assume you mean Hunter x Hunter 2011, right? You mean the new show,
yeah,
right?
the newer one, yeah. But Hunter x Hunter to me, because I've had conversations about anime with a lot of random people over the years, and they'll always say either like I saw Full Metal Alchemist and I loved it, or I saw Hunter x Hunter and I loved it. Like those two are like probably, in my opinion at least, like the two of the most consistent like animes to watch for newer people, because it's like impossible to watch it and to like not ever want to watch anime again, or like to not.
It's like people's first good anime. Yeah, it's like I watched this anime and it was good. Hunter x Hunter and Full Metal. Those were like I watched that show and I liked it. It was really good.
Right.
Because I feel like there's a lot of trash anime that gets shoveled on people, like Sword Art Online. That kind of was like it was a starter kit anime for people many years ago. Because it was accessible.
Probably shouldn't have been.
No, but it was just so accessible, and it was one of those shows that's like it was so easy to comprehend, and you didn't really have to think while you were watching it. So it was just easy, and it was very. It had some sensibilities that Americans could easily like. It was very. It felt very in tune with what we would talk about, except for when you get to the tentacle rape that occurs late into the show.
Right.
I forgot near the end of the first season, you actually get some tentacle. Asuna is held captive by like a leaf guy, and
and like I made that mistake because I tried getting someone to watch anime, and my recommendation was Sword Art Online. I heard that's good, so
and they bailed on it.
Nobody should watch Sword Art.
And they were like,
okay, Kenny, what do you think, man? I like David's starter kit. I think it's actually a pretty solid starter kit.
I like Hunter x Hunter, but just to not include, I think Hunter x Hunter is the best. It's my favorite. I love it. It might be my number 1 favorite manga of all time. And I love the anime. But just to not include Hunter x Hunter, I think that I would go Gurren Lagann for Mecha.
That's a good question. Is Gurren Lagann the most accessible mecha anime? Because I think so.
I think it is. I think
I mean, it's all cringy, right?
If you try to jump into Gundam at any point, it's really confusing.
What the fuck?
It's just too big of a universe. And then there's Geass, which is maybe like too political, maybe a little too like messy. Gurren Lagann is the perfect mix of like just standard shonen action and mecha. You know what I mean? I really like it. Yeah,
it's the perfect intro to mecha. And then if you want to watch other mecha anime, you're like, fuck, I like Gundams. Gundams look cool. I'll watch Gundam.
Because there's really not. I'd say beside Gundam and Geass, those are the two like prominent mecha anime. You really have to start deep diving to find more mecha.
Attack on Titan. And...
Yeah, you shut up, Kenny. But you get into things like Macross or these like old school mechas and mecha is definitely a genre that's kind of died down over the years. Oh. So I like that, Kenny. So Gurren Lagann, what else?
Gurren Lagann. I just had one. Fuck. Okay, Gurren Lagann. I love Gurren Lagann. My drill is a drill that will pierce the heavens. I just had one, and it just left.
Was it Death Note? Because I just thought of that one.
I do like Death Note a lot, but I don't think that's my popcorn sort of.
Is it the one you mentioned earlier?
Which one?
Cowboy Bebop.
No, I love Cowboy Bebop, but I think that for adults that is definitely a good recommendation. But I don't think that gets people hooked on anime. I think that people are like, this was a good show. I liked it. I don't want to watch more anime. Mm-hmm. Right? I feel the same way about Samurai Champloo, even though it's one of my favorites. Both are very great. Samurai Champloo is one of my favorite animes of all time. But it doesn't get people hooked on anime. And I think that Gurren Lagann, I think Hunter x Hunter, I think Full Metal Alchemist really get people hooked on anime. They're like,
yep,
I want to keep watching anime. This is awesome.
And I think My Hero is becoming that type of show.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
They say, wow, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen. I think I want to watch more.
Yeah.
So I think that's why this question keeps coming up for me, because so many people are My Hero fans and not anime fans. And I'm curious to see as that transition starts to come over more and more. Is Demon Slayer? Do we need to talk? Like, is Demon Slayer?
I don't know. I don't know anybody that have been introed in through Demon Slayer.
Right. Yeah. I feel like it's not anyone's first anime, but it's certainly like if you've seen another anime, Demon Slayer's like the perfect.
It's like
show
the second, third. Like it's early in your anime.
I saw My Hero. I'm gonna watch Demon Slayer. You know what I mean?
Like,
okay, I remember.
Okay.
I think Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works is a great and so many anime.
If you guys don't know, we have a whole episode on Fate. Go find it. It's episode 11 or 13 of this podcast.
So many anime reference back to Fate and to what Fate is. I think just Unlimited Blade Works by itself. I like Fate Zero, but I don't think it's a good introduction, right? Mm-hmm. I think Unlimited Blade Works answers all of its own questions within its series, right? Zero leans on the Fate genre and Fate itself, I think, really heavily, even though it's technically before Unlimited Blade Works, but it's before all of the Fate. Mm-hmm. So I think Unlimited Blade Works is a great anime to get into, especially like to be your first, you're like, I really liked this. And so many anime rely on Fate tropes and reference back to Fate. I mean, fuck, in Gate, if you've ever heard of Gate, it's a reverse isekai. Mm-hmm. Or it's vaguely an isekai.
I know Gate.
The units are named after the Fate characters, like the Fate classes. They're like, Saber unit is moving out, and so you're like, Fate is referenced a lot in a lot of animes, and I think that Unlimited Blade Works is a really good introduction into that whole universe. And I think that there hasn't always been a good jumping on point for the Fate series, and I think that Unlimited Blade Works really
UBW is it. And I remember Nakama mentioning that during our episode. Like, UBW is a great place to start. So I dig it.
Yeah, and then I really like Saiki Kuso no Sainan, or The Disastrous Life of Saiki K. One, it's on Netflix, okay? People love Netflix. Two, it introduces it actively makes fun of so many slice of life tropes that I think that if you watch Saiki K and you think it's funny just because of the goofy shit, whenever you start to see those characters and tropes in other anime, and I think that it's a good reference point, right? Because it does the parody of all kinds of different anime tropes. It is very funny to anime fans, obviously, but also it helps you whenever you start to see those tropes in other slice of life shows. Like fucking Chunibyo or 8th Grader Syndrome is one of the funniest fucking things. I laugh every time whenever the dude's like, oh, my left arm is burning. It's fun. That is funny to me, and it's a Japanese thing that you won't get if in an anime somebody's like, he's got 8th grader syndrome, and you're like, what the fuck? What does he mean? Whenever you see it in what's the character's name? In that character in Psyche K, you understand. You're like, okay, he's got 8th grader syndrome. I know what he's talking about. He's like, the evil organization is after me, and my arm burns from the curse they left on me. And you're like, fuck, bro, that's fucking you goofy ass.
Yeah, I mean, Shonen comedy titles, Shonen Jump, specifically Weekly Shonen Jump comedy.
Yeah,
there's a lot of entryways there. I mean, Gintama, Psyche Kuso, Sket Dance. Just over the years, they've had a couple hits that I think are really solid.
Hitman
comedy jump off points. Well, until it turns serious.
Until it's serious, yeah. But that first 40 episodes is pretty funny.
All pretty solid comedy starter points for. I just think comedy is the hardest genre of anime to get into if you haven't watched a lot of anime, because Japan has just a certain.
It's a lot of inside jokes.
If you go to any other country, the way humor and comedy exists is unique to that country.
Right.
So you do have to have a bigger knowledge sometimes of the cultures of it to be able to. But Psyche's not bad. I think Gintama's pretty much on the same level of like you can probably get it and enjoy it as a American viewer. But the crappy part is Gintama has no English dub. So if you are like a new fan, you might want to watch an English dub, and Psyche has a really good English dub on Netflix too.
And then obviously, if you like sports, watch Haikyuu.
Yeah,
Haikyuu's amazing.
Haikyuu's a great starter kit.
Would you put that over Kuroko?
Yeah.
Kuroko is more crazy, right?
Yeah.
Which I like too. Okay, I like all sports.
To me, it's like start with Haikyuu and then go back and watch Kuroko.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, you'll definitely get some ideas of like where Haikyuu got some of its tropes from, but then you'll be like, oh, Kuroko has superpowers.
Yeah,
they're in the zone.
You'll be like,
hey, remake Eye Shield. We're in the land of remakes. Remake
Eye Shield. Eye Shield 21. Remake Eye Shield. If Richo Inagaki, if you're listening, remake Eye Shield.
You ride Dr. Stone every week to be like, hey,
please give us Eye Shield 21 again.
Yeah, come on.
Come on, baby. Come on.
He's on One Punch Man every other week.
Baby.
Shonen, please.
Wait, but actually, though, to reel it back, though, Haikyuu is actually a really great suggestion because both Michaela, I mean, you guys both know Michaela Mariah. Both my sisters, Michaela Mariah. Michaela is much more into anime than Mariah is. But Mariah is actually kind of gatewayed into anime through Haikyuu and Promised Neverland. So, I mean...
Great starting point.
Especially if you're a person that's like, if you're an athlete. I've heard that, and this is from both of my sisters' feedback, like, being an athlete and watching Haikyuu, it, like, gives you back that... And I haven't seen Haikyuu, so I don't really get it. But it just gives you back that feeling of being an athlete and being in the middle of a game, and like, things are high stakes and you're making split decisions. And so if you're like a person in the real world who's really into sports and you want to get into anime, Haikyuu is the perfect kind of gateway into that.
Yeah.
Haikyuu's dope.
I really like Haikyuu. Haikyuu's awesome. I love the ending too. So whenever it all gets animated.
I think that we've hit a lot of great ones. I mean,
but also remake Eye Shield.
Bebop.
That'd be so good.
My list when I answered this question was Bebop, Death Note, One Punch Man, Naruto, Mob Psycho 100, Yu Yu Hakusho, Hunter x Hunter, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and JoJo's. And that was my list.
Okay,
that was my list.
Hot take. I don't think JoJo's is a good anime for a brand new anime watcher. Because
I don't think it should be anyone's first show. But I think if you've watched something like My Hero, I think JoJo's is not a bad second take if you're looking for something specific. And that's what so when I started coming up with this list, I categorized them into certain things, because the reality of it is that anime is a medium, not a genre, right?
Yeah.
What the reality of it is that there are genres inside of anime.
Yeah.
And if you're coming right off of My Hero, to me, this is your list of like stuff that you might also enjoy. But even though they're all shonen, which is kind of what I was going for, seinen/shonen, because if you're watching My Hero, you kind of are going to want something similar. You're going to want something in the same
action-y,
zone.
right?
Seinen, shonen. You pretty much, if My Hero was your thing. But the reality of it is also, it's not going to work for everyone. You could have someone watch My Hero and be like, this is terrible. But then they watch Yuri on Ice and they're like, oh shit, anime is good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's because of how disparate the genres of anime are. So for me, this was like I've watched all of My Hero Academia, and I'm looking for something similar. But depending on my mood, these are your options, right? You want something more mature? Watch Bebop. You want something a little more digestible, but with something a little bit more dramatic? Watch Death Note. You want something that's just going to be a lot of fun? Watch One Punch Man. If you want something that's going to be nice and long, a real long story, watch Naruto. If you want something that's going to be shorter, but still very, very intense, watch Mob Psycho. If you want something that's a little more older, you want to watch that classic anime style, go for Yu Yu. But if you want something that's similar, but it's much newer, you got to watch Hunter, right? If you're looking for something that's genuinely just a great story, a masterpiece, you watch Brotherhood. And if you want something a little bit more on the absurd side of anime, you like the absurdity of My Hero, watch JoJo's. Like, to me, that's kind of the scale
kinda
that
like
I put together.
The skill tree. Well, not skill tree,
Right,
but like the
right.
decision
So I had
tree.
to kind of think of it like that because I was like, okay, someone's coming off My Hero, this is the question. But then I looked at my list again and I was like, oh shit, it's all shonen and seinen, but that's because someone was like, oh, I watched My Hero. And that's something that I think we all kind of missed is like,
I mean, we're shonen heads, so
we're shonen heads. And also, again, I did present the question as someone enjoyed My Hero, what do they watch next? Which obviously, if they enjoyed a shonen, another shonen might be another great place to go. Yes.
Right.
So that's a great, we nailed it there. But I do think the question is, if there was a romance, what would you guys say? What's your opening run? Really? Right off the bat. Brand new show, Horimiya. You think so?
Awesome. Yeah. Or if you want like a shonen romance show, I think Niseko is still really good.
I say Fruits Basket. I think that is the confident, just quirky enough, just enough mystery, just enough like magic, but just enough like standard romance. Fruits Basket is like the classic entryway for a romance anime fan.
Damn, I would say Tonikawa.
Tonikawa is a good. I mean, it's so crazy that's another that's a whole genre. If I were to say gory, bloody action, what show do we go to? What's the show?
If Berserk was good, I'd say Berserk.
Bro, god damn it!
When I think gory, bloody action, I go to shows like Psycho-Pass. I go to shows like
that show.
Vinland Saga.
Psycho-Pass is like Vinland Saga. Oh my god, Dead Man Wonderland. When you want something gory, bloody, violent, those are great entryways. Dead Man, Vinland Saga, Psycho-Pass. Those are good shows to start with. If you want something, again, we've already gone over shonen, but like if you want sports, Haikyuu is the perfect entryway to a sports anime. And then you realize, oh, look at all these other shows that have done the same tropes. You start to get more into sports.
I would even say that Haikyuu is the only intro. I think it's the best intro into sports anime. Because then there's tons of baseball, right? Diamond No Ace is awesome. I love Diamond No Ace. I obviously love Kuroko's basketball. I love Slam Dunk. But
Slam Dunk is massive.
But I think Haikyuu is the perfect intro into a sports anime.
Yes. I tell everyone if they want to try sports, start with Haikyuu and then go from there. But
and then you tell them to watch Iwakakuru Sports Climbing Girls, right? Because that's like
Climbing Girls.
Obviously, we go from
Haikyuu and then Iwakakuru.
Young men playing volleyball straight into just panty shots of girls climbing up walls, dude. Just straight up, full on gooch right in your face. Just beautiful, beautiful shots of Iwakakeru, dude. No. But yeah, I think that's a great, and honestly, guys, I hope that someone listening gets a little bit out of this. Maybe they can suggest to their friends, whatever it might be.
Well,
what's up, Ken?
I think we're missing one show. The ultimate intro anime.
Which one, Kenny?
Is Vampire Night. Okay? Podcast, boys and girls.
Let's throw out one more suggestion. If you think someone needs to watch Isekai, what's your Isekai go-to? I have one in mind. What's your Isekai
Shield
go-to?
Hero. Rising the Shield Hero.
You think so?
I really like Shield Hero, but I think it does all the Isekai stuff right.
I would say ReZero.
My thought was no game, no life, but that's just me.
I think ReZero is it's like the Evangelion of Isekai.
You have to know Isekai to watch ReZero. You have to know what you're getting. If you start with ReZero,
I guess he says a lot of meta jokes of like, oh, I'm in an Isekai or whatever.
Right.
You don't know what that is.
It's self-referential and meta. It's a deconstruction of Isekai. But to me, No Game, No Life is a really good, just simple 12 episode, pretty simple plot. 2 characters trapped in the world playing games, colorful. I think it's a good isekai to just jump into. Sword Art is actually not terrible if you really wanted to watch the first part of it, the first 13 episodes.
Fuck Sword Art. I hate Sword Art.
It's still a basic isekai that someone could watch and enjoy, and then they'd get more into the better isekais like
Me and all my
Hero
homies
and
hate
Shield Hero.
Sword Art, okay?
Okay.
Me and all my homies hate Sword Art.
Beside the point, we did great, guys. That's it, man.
Yeah.
That's all we
All
got.
right, here
2
we
hours
are
on the
signing
dot,
off.
boys.
That's all we got.
This is Kenny signing off on the Vampire Night podcast. Make sure to tune back in for all your Vampire Night news and your Vampire Night info. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Vampire Night podcast down there in the description. We're going to be giving away every volume of Vampire Night every week forever here at the Vampire Night podcast.
Multiple times.
So,
After we sell the last volume, we're just going to start over from the beginning. Start from volume 1.
We're
again.
trapped in hell. We're trapped in hell.
I think Vampire Night is like totally serviceable.
For real though, guys, if you made it this far and you listen to what Kenny said, Vampire Night service, we'll go home, Kenny. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for joining us again for another episode of the Uncensored Anime Podcast. We love all of your support. We're so grateful, like I said at the beginning of this episode. We will continue to be bringing you guys updates on anime news, reviewing anime content, talking about all of our seasonal anime as they come out, and continuing to have special episodes like we do with the One Piece Chapter 1000, and Thanksgiving, our most thankful anime. We want to continue to have cool guests on. We have a couple guests in mind. I have some guests in mind, so we may have some fun guests on over the next couple weeks. So be excited for that if you guys are checking us out for the first time. Thank you so much for jumping in and watching this episode as your first episode. Please go check out our backlog. They're all very digestible episodes. They're a lot of fun. So go and check that out. And thanks so much for supporting us. Throw us a like on this video, put a comment down in the comment section below, or if you're over on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you guys follow us on those, or hit us with a 5-star review if you're on Apple Podcasts. That would be really helpful. Helps our podcast to grow and get more out to more people. Make sure to also go check us out on Instagram and Twitter at the Uncensored Anime Podcast. We're everywhere. We're doing everything, and we want you guys to be a part of this because it's awesome. And we're not sponsored by anything at all right now, but if
Sponsored by Vampire Night.
We're sponsored by Vampire Night.
I don't know. Yeah. If Viz and Vampire Night wanted to sponsor us, we wouldn't be opposed. No. But thank you so much for listening. David, can you guys have anything else before we sign off?
No.
They never do. They never do. That's the magic of this podcast, boys. That's the magic of this podcast.
This is your time. This is all your life.
We will hopefully see you guys again very soon. Maybe reviewing some new shows. We mentioned a couple different shows. Rohan. We've talked about reviewing a couple different other shows.
High Rise Invasion.
High Rise Invasion. We'd like to get a review out soon, so we'll have some more reviews and discussions. And we love doing these news episodes where we just have some topics and content. So, we've noticed from our analytics that viewers like these episodes too. So maybe you'll see more of these. We seem to get some pretty heavy view and traffic on our news related episodes. So we might try to pump out maybe once a month or once every 5 to 6 weeks. Try to get another news recap episode. We do always, if you didn't know, and this is your first episode, we talk about news in the beginning of every episode. We always start the episode with anime news. So we just don't generally do dedicated episodes to news because we want to talk about reviews. We want to talk specific shows, movies, so on and so forth. So if this is your first episode, you made it through to the end. We do talk about news in every single episode. So if you see an episode titled Vinland Saga, the first 20 minutes are still dedicated to anime news. So if you want to go check those out, go check those out. Sometimes longer than that, even depending on what's come up that week. Kenny is holding up a very expensive Pokemon card. It runs for about $500 to $750 raw. We pulled it last weekend. Just fantastic to finally have that in our hands.
I think you guys know who that guy is.
It's shiny Charizard. It is a shiny Charizard.
I think you guys know who Charizard is, okay?
Beautiful. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you so much for listening. We hope to see you guys again soon. This is the Uncensored Anime Podcast. Signing off.